Welcome back to the show, and thank you for returning back to the channel, the podcast where we discuss personal finance, happiness, money, and advice. Today, I'm joined by not one, but two very, very special esteemed guests. We have Myron Gaines, the host of #1 men's podcast, Fresh and Fit. Myron Gaines, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We have Sneako, everyone knows, very popular, ex-YouTuber, now Rumbler. Before nice. He got, that's the pronoun.
Yes, thank you.
That's the preface. Basically, before you were banned, you had over 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
It's like 2 million combined with both channels.
2 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
On Twitch, you had a very large viewership.
Twitch, I only lasted like 2 days before. Yeah.
Okay, but you were banned on both platforms.
And Twitter and TikTok. Wow. But I got the Twitter back. Thank you, Elon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice, sick.
Yeah, we got banned on TikTok several times as well.
Yeah, even me. You know what's crazy?
What did you do?
Bro, I didn't do anything, but I had a video where I asked somebody if he would convert to Islam, and they banned that video.
Oh, that's why. You can't talk about anything positive. It has to be negative. You need to be twerking. You need to be worshiping Satan.
Yep.
And changing your gender on TikTok.
Pretty much. That's the only way you'll be allowed on there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it seemed like, honestly. I don't know why TikTok, and bro, they don't have any appeal system, and they're like, they say they'll appeal it, but they never come through with any result.
Unless you're a thought or doing some degenerate stuff, they're not going to, no.
And I heard from people that actually work at TikTok that anything that gets reported with my name or Tate's name, they immediately delete. It doesn't even matter. They don't review it, just gone.
Damn. Yeah. All the Tate videos, especially not even deleted, but all of them just shadow banned completely. Like the views, like a video of me alone is like, maybe 15, 20,000 views, and then me with Tate, dead. 0. Like 200 or 100,
They're doing everything they can to censor them right now. It's ridiculous.
And I think it's also because there's like this thing where, I mean, I don't know how true it is, but they're saying that TikTok in China, it's all about videos. You haven't heard this?
It's all positive. It's all uplifting. There's none of this gender fluidity nonsense. It's all like inspirational science. They reward the people
who are like really like putting out like good messages or like really like working on some creative stuff. And then for the US,
no, it's all one big psyop. They're using it to destroy the West from the inside out. It's genius. Trojan horse.
Yeah, sick. But I mean, disgusting.
Yep. Pretty smart though.
And they get they collect a bunch of your data as well. Everything. Have you ever like looked at the user agreement?
I saw Joe Rogan
TikTok?
made a video.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wild. Like any phone or any device you log in from, they just immediately start pulling data from it. Anywhere you log in from TikTok. It's one of the most invasive apps.
Have you ever downloaded the app? I don't have it, but I downloaded like once or twice. And then every single time it's like ask app not to track, ask location, ask your contact list, ask your birth certificate, everything. Social, everything.
Yeah, honestly, for me, I just deleted it recently because it was a good phase. I'll be honest. There was like a few months I was like properly like kind of like hooked on it. Not hooked, but like I'd open it and like it's like a black hole for like 10 minutes to just pass.
Well, that's what it's designed for. As soon as you open it, it mutes everything else, and then it just starts showing you videos immediately that you've already been looking at. So it's literally designed to keep you on it as much as possible, and they show you the stuff that's going to keep you on that you've been like going through. So. Yeah, I mean, it's designed to, to just take your attention.
Yeah. We're going to talk about it, but just to guys let you know, these two are very successful entrepreneurs, investors, and content creators. Very young.
He's getting up there. But,
relatively young as well.
Teaching them.
They're like best friends, so it's nice to have them both together.
Yeah.
It's a big pleasure. But yeah, hopefully hopefully in this podcast, you're going to get some advice on how to become successful, how to build your character, how to develop yourself. So yeah, I mean, let's get right into it.
I would say first off to go off that, I would say I think one of the big mantras that I follow is that if it's free, you are the product.
Okay.
So I think you can use that with social media. It's good that you deleted that. If anything is free and TikTok is free, then you got to realize like they got to monetize it in some way. And the way that they monetize it is your attention span, is your mind is taken away. You're draining you when you open. You go through that black hole. You're looking at all these products. You're getting stupider. You're becoming mindless. You are becoming the product. So like everybody who's on social media right now, which is everybody watching this, you got to realize that the richest people in the world, they don't use social media for fun. They don't use it to go in a black hole. They use it for market research. Even if like rich people that have TikTok once in a while to see what's trending, what you can do, how to utilize it. Every time I'm around millionaires, they're like, okay, what's popping right now? What's the real thing? How did he get this? How did this podcast work? You always try to figure out how someone got to that point. If you're just on there scrolling like a drone, you're going to be part of the system. You're just going to
Biggie famously said, don't get high on your own supply. And if you're a TikTok creator, this is why it's so important to like kind of outsource that.
Yeah.
Like you want to have someone else do it for you. Like I have someone that like does TikToks and they do it on another device, on their own stuff, whatever, and I don't have to worry about it. So that way it kind of keeps you off of the app so that you don't have to worry about like actually posting content and, you know, getting into the black hole, because like that's what they're paying for. That's what social media is. Can we get your attention, right? And that's what they're really competing for, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, LOL, or Instagram, right? Like they're competing for, Meta now. Like they're competing for your attention. That's why, like, you know, YouTube, they'll push you, if your watch time is high, they push you more into the algorithm because they want you to keep people on. Instagram, do people engage with your posts? Do they swipe left? Do they watch the videos? Then they're going to keep, you know, push you more to the discover page. Same thing with TikTok. The more people you get like watching and scrolling through your videos, the more engagement you're able to get. Boom, we're going to put you at the top. So it's all an attention economy. And just like you said, if it's free,
attention
that's
is the new
their
oil.
goal. Yeah,
like Alex Hormozi says.
That's what it is. Absolutely. And today's day and age, people have a shorter attention span than they ever did. You know what I mean? Low. It's like literally like, because I'm 33, so I'm like old enough to remember what it was like where you, before social media, before text messaging and everything, where you had to actually like call someone or like, you know, had to dial or whatever, or dial up internet. Yeah. But nowadays it's like instant gratification. So
they say when the phones were tied, the humans were free, you know? So like we were like all good, and then now it's like we're chained to this device.
Yeah. Kids don't go outside anymore.
Man, you see that, bro, they eat with their iPad in front of them, they brush their teeth with their iPad in front of them. Yeah. It's like it's their
That's life, your guys' generation, man. I didn't grow up with iPad. I didn't have a cell phone until I was 17. But like you guys in your 20s, man, you Gen Z guys, holy.
It's like a cigarette for babies. I'm 24. When you see a kid crying nowadays, the parent in public just shoves the iPad in their face until they shut up. It's like giving a kid a cigarette so that they can stop.
I agree, because now they're upset in their mind. The kid is upset. So what does the parent do? Teaches the kid that they should distract themselves when they're upset with the iPad. So then when they get older, as they're upset about anything in life, they seek these distractions. They seek, let's say they have an issue, that instead of dealing with the issue or thinking it through or taking any of the rightful actions that you would do to resolve the situation, they'll open some entertainment, Netflix, TikTok, social media, whatever, porn, any of the above. And
we live in what I call the on-demand era now, because it used to be, if you wanted to watch your favorite show, you had to wait a week. Maybe it's a TV series, whatever, right? You had to watch television. You had to depend on that and then wait through the commercials. Nowadays, it's you can stream whatever you want, whenever you want, and you can watch it as long as you want.
Even food. Yeah. To your doorstep, same
Uber Eats, right? You can get someone to come and pick you up. You can get someone to deliver you food. You can watch TV as much as you want, and you can watch all your stuff and binge watch it. Like, all of this stuff is like fairly new within the past decade. Yeah. So, we live in an instant gratification society nowadays.
But you can use it to your benefit, because like one thing about our generation, you can realize that we're not going to be away from our phone. We're never going to plug it back in. We're going to have our smartphones everywhere all the time. And you can curate your feed to be positive content. I really like Twitter now, because everybody that I follow, a lot of them are like independent journalists. There's good discussions back and forth. People that I follow are interesting and always trying to say something funny or talk about current events. It's a great place to get news after Elon Musk got in charge. But even the people that I watch on YouTube or Rumble, everybody that I watch, they have some level of value that they add every time they speak. And that's why your podcast is successful, is because people watch this and they leave like, okay, like they think in a different way. There's most of the content that people watch, and we don't need to name all of them now, but they don't have anything that they stand for. And that really clicked in my head, like when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do after doing, like, I've been on YouTube for a long time.
Yeah, you worked with Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I was doing all this stuff, and it was just like, it was kind of just like entertainment. And then I figured, like, I want to do something that had a point. Yeah. And I was analyzing it. I was sitting down. I was seeing like most of these channels, like it's reactionary. It's talking about drama, but there is no point. If you look at the other podcasts and the people that are successful, they don't have any philosophy.
It's just mind numbing.
They're just there. And then if you look at like the top banner of the channel, says like, we talk about stuff, literally. Yeah. And you ask like, what do you stand for? Anything. Nothing. Yeah. So if you watch anybody that doesn't have a clear philosophy, like you start up this podcast, we talk about finance, business. We talk about social media.
Important subjects.
Like, before this podcast started, like, let's talk about real estate. You have a clear objective with this. There's information there's value that we could add to the viewer. Most people don't have anything. And that really flipped a switch in my head. Like, why am I going to sit here and watch somebody that is just talking? I'm wasting my time. You're wasting my time. There's just noise, just chat sadder, and I'm not going to leave with any energy. It's just going to drain me and make me stupid. So everybody watching this, do not give your energy away, because if it's free, you're the product. If you give your time away to celebrity drama, to blah, blah, back and forth, who's dating who's this, you're not going to be any better. So if time is a commodity, then you got to use it to your best interest. And, you want to be entertained, of course, but there's got to be something that they add.
The other 100%. Thing too is people really have to be with the digital age that we're in, where information's everywhere. You have to be really vigilant about what you consume. And I'm real big on I don't watch anything if it's fictionary or doesn't make me smarter or doesn't tell me what's going on. I'm really big into in my free time I'll watch true crime stuff, right? Because I have another channel where I talk about true crime stuff from my prior experience, and then I'll watch geopolitical stuff. I watch a lot of geopolitics stuff.
Is very interesting.
Yeah, and also to know what's going on in the world, but you got to be careful, because if you consume it from mainstream media, it's a bunch of BS. They'll tell you some stuff
lies.
Oh yeah, Ukraine's winning the war. LOL. No. We know that's a lie, right? But they'll tell you a bunch of stuff that isn't true. So you got to consume your geopolitics from people that, number one, are based in reality and know what's really going on, and then also just consume content that makes you better. I watch a lot of historical stuff too. If it doesn't educate me, I typically don't watch it. And this is where people have to kind of be able to, with all the information out, you really have to be vigilant about what you filter in and what you filter out.
Very true.
But most people, like you said, they like to watch mindless content that doesn't make them better.
What's crazy though?
And mind-numbing.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Because I opened TikTok very recently. I wanted to check how our account was doing. So after I deleted it, after a few days, not a few days, it was 2 weeks, I re-downloaded it. And I said, let me see how our podcast TikTok account is going. When I re-downloaded it, I didn't want to sign in because I didn't want to put I didn't even know my login details. I just signed as a guest. But the first few videos that it gives a new person who's watching would be those, the mind-numbing ones.
To drag you in.
Yeah, either that, and also I think that's
dancing videos, stuff like that, dude.
They will try their best to bring you into that niche, and also that's because they know that that's the majority want that anyways. So, but what I try to tell people as much as I can is okay, look, that, as you said, social media, it's going to consume you. Our phones are going to be around us. At least also, if you're going to consume, try to produce, if not as much or more than how much you consume. So you're a producer, you're not just a consumer all the time.
Yeah.
Even if it's small things you can learn, you go on you watch one of your videos, and then any lesson you learn, make a video about it or upload it. At least that can help you in some way as well.
And here's the other thing people don't understand. In the United States, people are consumers. This is why people are fat. This is why people are in debt. This is why people consume way more than they produce, and they're not necessarily in a good position economically, health-wise, etc. So the average American is broke, fat, and doesn't know what the hell is going on in life. And the problem is that, that works if you're a woman, right? If you're a chick, someone will come and swoop you up off your feet, even if you're 300 pounds, but maybe two guys might swoop you up. But either way, you might get swept up. But as a man, you can't afford to be mediocre and incompetent. As a woman, you can be. So what I'm saying is that mind-numbing, stupid content, that's okay for girls to be on TikTok all day doing that, but you can't afford to do that as a man. True. You really have to have your stuff together, because no one's going to come and save you as a man.
No one.
You want to hear a crazy stat?
Let's hear it.
I don't know if you know pounds, but do you know how much you weigh in pounds?
I weigh 78 kg.
78 kg? Okay.
I think it's 140 or 160 pounds. I think it's double.
Guess how much the average American woman weighs?
Average?
Average.
What do you think?
In pounds, I think...
if you're 160.
Let's say... I'd hope for 150...
170.
Yeah. 170?
10 more pounds than you is the average American woman.
Yep.
Damn.
And average black woman is $180.
187 is the average American black woman.
Wow.
That's a real stat. Yeah.
Damn.
And that really opened up my mind to how mediocre most people are, and not even that
men as well. Men is probably more, or
the average man weighs 197 pounds in America.
Damn.
Yeah. Big country.
Fat, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and it's accepted. And the thing is, like I said before, as a man, you can't afford to be. And that's why, with our podcast, Fresh and Fit, I'm so big on so we have a Money Monday, right? Teaching guys how to make money, whether it's being an entrepreneur, investing in real estate, cryptocurrency, whatever. And we bring people in from different walks of life. So if I'm not versed in something, I'll bring someone else that is. Then Wednesday we talk about Womanizer Wednesday, how to stay attractive, how to how to not be a simp, etc. Because quite frankly, we live in a simp economy, right?
Yeah.
And then Friday we do a call-in show where we answer questions, or we bring in a guest, and then we have the after-hour show. We bring girls in and everything like that. But the reason why is because I saw that there was a void in the market, right? So guys wanted to get girls, and they thought, okay, well, what do I say? What do I do, etc. And then I was like, okay, we'll do this, blah, blah, blah. But then they don't have their stuff together. They're not in shape. They're fat. They stink. Their hygiene is bad. They don't dress appropriately where the clothes just fit, right? I'm not saying you have to be dripped out or whatever, but at least have the clothes fit, look presentable, be clean. Like, guys don't have these rudimentary basics in place. And this is why so many guys, like, get left on scene or don't get dates or whatever it may be. So that's when I kind of realized, like, oh, we have to teach you guys how to become more attractive
high
first
value males
before you even like get the girls, because a lot of guys think like, I want to get girls, I want to get girls, but like people don't realize that if you don't make at least hit a certain look threshold, girls aren't going to give you the time of day, regardless of what you say or how good your game is. You can't play the game unless you turn the game on.
You don't even get in the door.
You don't even get in the door. And in today's day and age, with social media, Instagram, etc., it's more competitive now than ever before. You know, and I don't think guys really know what they're up against, at least in the West. Like in you know, might be different here in this part of the world, but in the West, it's like, dude, the average guy, like, you can't afford to be sitting here watching a bunch of mindless content, you scrolling up on TikTok, watching girls twerk. Like, women can do that stupid stuff, but you can't as a man. You got to get out there and get it for your own.
Speaking of the simp economy, like, there's even, you can't even say the word simp on Twitch. Did you know that?
Really?
Like, that's how much that they want you to become that. Because if you start to pull the curtain back and you start to...
They say bullying?
No, it's not bullying. They just like, that's what Twitch wants. They want you to be a simp. TikTok wants you to be stupid. Twitch wants you to be giving all your money away to hot tub streams. She goes, I love you, I love you. It's literally a TikTok funnel. The top OnlyFans person on Twitch, Amaranth, went on an e-day with her last summer, blah, blah, blah. She makes a lot of money. And she said the only reason she still goes on Twitch, because she makes $100K a month on Twitch, she makes $1.5 million a month on OnlyFans. $1.5 million a month. The only reason she uses Twitch is because it's a billboard for her OnlyFans. It's just a funnel. It's a direct funnel, because she said on every other website they kind of censor it. You can't have sexy content, but Twitch, it's great. Welcome. They want you to become a simp on Twitch. That's the whole goal. Because if you're there, you're giving away all your money.
Literally, I talk about this extensively in my book. This is actually why women deserve less,
Great
guys.
plug.
Because real talk, you set it up for me. Like, and I talk about this, like the whole simp economy that we have.
This is very crazy, by the way. We have to talk a bit about this.
Yeah, we could talk about it. And in the book, right? So the first thing is, you know, the money sign. Then the next is like, you know, don't get married in the West. Next is social media, because girls are social media crack whores nowadays.
And time, the most important thing.
And too many guys give these 4 things away to women for nothing. And if you look, right, people are like, oh my God, Myron, you're a jerk, whatever. I looked at all the top podcasts, by the way, which is long form content, all male dominated, not female dominated. Why is that? Well, because men have to bring value to get any type of attention.
We're used to doing that.
Versus girls don't. Like, girls can do some bullshit and you know, get attention. But the thing is that women don't dominate YouTube and they don't dominate long form content. They typically only dominate short form content on TikTok or Instagram.
Even TikTok, the biggest TikToker is now Khabi.
It's a dude now?
Yeah, Khabi overtook him.
See, so there you go. But like, regardless, like, that's where I've noticed where girls dominate when it comes to social media is typically picture apps like Instagram or short form content where they're dancing or whatever. But very few women can like keep an audience entertained for a long period of time. Now, Twitch is one of the anomalies, but they'll be playing video games or whatever.
They're with their boobs out and sitting in a hot tub.
Their boobs out or whatever. So it's like,
and there's female podcasts. If you listen to what they talk about, Call Her Daddy, Emily Ratajkowski, former porn stars, they just get in, they hit the wall, and then they're mad because they're not getting the same attention they got when they were 21. So all they try to do is bring women to their side. Be a whore. Be an OnlyFans. And you are a bad person. You're a bad man if you don't want me when I'm 30 after having all my getting... smashed up on. They want to bring girls to that level because they're really bitter for the fact that they use up their value.
The podcast is Call Her Daddy, and that's about being a thought. Like, if all the other top podcasts, all male run, etc. And here's the thing, I'm not telling y'all to like treat women poorly or be a jerk or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, we're here in the UAE; it's a little bit different. But out in the West, right, you're in an English-speaking first world country. Like, don't be a simp, because women don't respect it. Like, you got to figure out which girls deserve more, but most girls, quite frankly, deserve
the
less.
males, these especially in the West, they put women on a pedigree, you know?
Yeah, they
on a pedestal.
Dude, in the West, like, here it's balanced. Like, women understand that masculinity is a thing, men lead, women follow, etc. It's like already kind of established in the culture. But the United States, it's not like that. Like, the average woman does not respect the average man in the United States at all. Like the average man is considered like, oh, like they're invisible to most girls, you know? And the reason why I blame, there's a multitude of reasons for this, but I think social media is probably one of the biggest contributors to, you know, the skewed sexual marketplace or the dating marketplace, because you got a girl that's like a 5. She's getting attention from guys that are 8s, 9s, and 10s, right? Guys that are way above her level. But what she doesn't realize is those guys want her for sexual access. Yeah. Right? But she thinks that she can attract that caliber of guy. They come on my show all the time, like, I deserve this kind of guy. It's like, no, you get sex from that guy only, nothing else.
Yeah.
But
They're probably people who are less good looking, but would provide like much more.
But they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care about them.
It's not just social media. It's also the movies that they watch. All these Disney movies made these girls think that they're princesses without doing anything, and they all think they're 10s. They all think they're perfect. They don't think that they have to self-improve. That's why their podcasts are all just about how you're perfect. Sex in the City. It's about how you can go outside and just date a bunch of guys. There's no self-improvement ideas for women. It's just accept me for who I am, fat positivity, accept me for who I like, slut walk. That they actually have that in New York. I'm sorry for swearing, but like they actually have our Yell Your Abortion protests. Like they had protests in New York City. Big reason why I left, where they would go and march and they would yell about how many abortions they have.
Damn.
So
well,
different world.
Yeah, damn, that's crazy. And we'll get into it. I think what you were talking about before earlier about America being consumers and stuff. It's actually crazy because I've realized, like, with all these days they have, like, let's say Women's Day, or let's say this day,
There's no Men's Day, really.
Really?
No.
Yeah. Really. Anyways,
Women's March, there's no Men's March.
Even necessarily Mother's Day or these days, they built all these days just for consumers because they want people to buy gifts for this person on
all
this
the
day.
holidays are for women.
Day.
Valentine's Day, it's just to spend money on women.
Exactly. It's just, and they just want you to consume, buy, spend.
And women are 80% of the consumer base in the United States.
Yeah, true.
And they hold 3/4 of the debt.
Yeah.
So, and I've talked about this too. Like, why are we so femme-centric in the West and the United States? Well, the reason why they push feminism, etc., is because when you push feminism, women make their own money. If women make their own money, they're more impressionable. When they're more impressionable, it's easier to sell to women. This is why advertisers target women very heavily in the United States. Yeah. The ads are like, oh yeah, you go girl, you're special, love your curves, whatever. They don't hold women accountable for their bad decisions because they can sell to them. I've always said when you lie, women buy.
Yeah.
So if you're able to go ahead, because it works in two different things with feminism. What it's done is it's cut it's doubled the labor market. When you double the labor market, now you could pay people less.
Yeah.
Right? And on top of that, everything is doubled because now you got to sell to men and women, etc. So it works in that way where employers can pay you less. Now on top of that, now you have another work demographic who's less concerned with necessarily creating wealth and saving, more concerned with consuming, and that's just women in general, right?
Yeah.
And they're more prone to have debt. So it works out to their favor where it works to have feminism and have men and women split apart because it makes more money.
Yeah.
And they also tax the whole population instead of half the population, just the men. You tax everybody.
Now you're able to tax both.
I think it goes even much deeper than that. I think they were doing it to try to control the entire population. And you saw with the cough what happened when you have women controlling, when you have women in charge, they're more emotionally charged, and so it's very easy to manipulate based on fear and not thinking rationally. And men are confused. Okay, well, a lot of us we didn't want to go and put on the mask, stuff like that. But when you have women afraid, you're going to comply more. When women are in charge, then you're much easier to control and manipulate. When you're constantly simping and you're weaker and you're sad and you're on pills and you're a slave to big pharma, and when you're distracted on social media, then you're easy to manipulate. And then the rich people get richer and the poor people get poorer. Look, in the past 3 years, there was the biggest wealth transfer of all time. The middle class lost the biggest amount of money in recent times. I know this happens in the recession and any big event in here, but the COVID was the biggest example of the wealth transfer. You could see the gap.
And it makes you think if that's what the rich people wanted, it was completely in their favor. So
and it worked. I mean, they weren't like the rich people. They weren't inside like wiping their groceries down. They were living life, having fun, traveling the world.
And what you were saying about the women, it's interesting because like you said, they tell the woman that, like, for example, if you're this weight, it's okay, and they put big heavy models on billboards. Not because they even care about the woman, but because they want to show off those clothes because they realize that now there's a lot of fat people, so they want them to buy clothes from them. Yeah. And what also women spend a lot of money on is plastic surgery, and the way they change the trend. Like if you think about, it's like beauty trends. Like a few years ago, it was like, oh, if you were like, let's say when Kim Kardashian had these curvy thighs, it was all about being curvy. So people were getting like injections and butt lift and stuff like that. And now it's like all about being skinny. So what I noticed also is what happens a lot is they switch the trend to what everyone doesn't have. So they again need surgery. So like before, skinny eyebrows was good. Now it's like who decides these trends? They decide based on what the people have. Like they'll decide the opposite is the new in thing. You know what I mean?
United States, it's full on like fat acceptance now though. Like if you look at billboards from like the 90s versus now, like they have full on like big plus models that are like, on Calvin Klein ads where it used to be like thin models. Like you can be a 200+ pound woman and be a model in the United States nowadays.
Even the mannequins in Walmart are shaped like bowling balls.
But that's the girls think they care about them. Like they're saying I'm attractive. No, they just want you to spend money on those clothes.
No, it's all a psyop. The dad bod thing, it's all a lie. It's just to keep us control. I mean, look what happened in the past 3 years. Instead of telling us to go and get in shape, to go to the gym, they closed down the gyms and they told you to go get a bunch of injections because they don't actually care about your health. If they cared about your health, they would have said, get some sun, go outside, protect yourself. These are the ways to protect yourself from getting sick. Instead, they told you to go into a pharmacy.
Yeah. Anyways, so moving a bit on from the women and the West, I wanted to ask you guys off the bat. If first of all, you guys are in Dubai, it's both your first time here.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Will you just land?
We're not going to go back. We're moving. All roads lead to Dubai. Look at that. Everything we've been talking about is how the West is collapsing and why it's going apart. I mean,
Dubai, you're welcome.
It is what it is. I mean, I don't know if you can really say this on YouTube that much. That's why I'm on Rumble, I guess. But I'm not very optimistic about the West. I think in the next 30 years, it's going to become a third world place. Like during the BLM riots, when I saw all these stores getting looted and nobody got criminal charges, but then everybody on January 6th, they're facing criminal charges now for doing the same exact thing. I think that's just a perfect sign of how they don't care about nationalism. They don't care about the country. If you have an American flag, they say that you're racist now. It's a racist symbol to a lot of liberals. And I'm not optimistic about the West. And I do think that I can fight the fight in a different place. Shout out to Ryan Dawson. He's been in Japan since the Bush era. And one of the problems I've had is that I'm saying, like, I don't want to stay in the West that much longer. I don't want to raise a family here, seeing what they do in schools with the pride flags, how all these kids are having trans teachers with giant prosthetic boobs. It's disgusting, really. They don't pledge allegiance to the flag. They pledge allegiance to the gay pride flag. And when that happens, a whole generation, like we grew up with social media. That was already a lot for a lot of us to deal with and have this attention economy and getting addicted to clout and all this stuff. Yeah. But when kids have like trans teachers shoved in their face, they're going to grow up extremely confused. So I want to raise kids outside of America. But also, without too much distractions and like not thinking about sexual orientations and sex without all this nonsense.
Without thinking about sex in general.
Yeah, it's disgusting that they even do this. And anybody who justifies it, like the LGBT stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans. That's literally teaching kids like it's all sex. It's sex acts. So they look at this flag and they're seeing all weird types of sex. Yeah. But I think you could still fight the fight. I think you could still, if you have the power of the internet, you can still talk about this and you could still help people with not being in the country. Like people are like, oh, you're leaving us behind. And I love being American. I still love the place, but I'm not optimistic about it.
I feel you. And I think Dubai, especially with the safety here, like at the end of the day, like we're trying our hardest to be successful and, earn as much money as possible. And what's the point if you live in a society where if you have money, you're not safe, If you have a nice car, like if you see London, you can't even wear this watch,
If New York and London, I'm not going to walk outside with this.
You know what I mean? So what's the point of having money in a place where, like, obviously for us, we're trying to work as hard as possible.
You'll be fine with that watch in New York, though.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's like you want to be successful and you want to enjoy your money. You want to have a nice car. You want to have a nice watch. Investments as well, by the way. So it's crazy that there you don't even have that peace of mind,
Yeah.
As you get successful, it becomes worse, your life, almost. Yeah. You get more attacks, you know what I mean? You're more vulnerable.
Yeah.
And open to attack. So I think that the move to Dubai is
Los Angeles is literally a third world country now. The mayor just signed something and you can have fruit stands out on the street. Like it looks like Mexico City in LA. San Francisco, everybody's leaving. That used to be the most coveted place
LA,
in America.
Remember all the YouTubers are moving to like Texas and stuff for tax as well.
They're getting out. Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Puerto Rico.
Tax havens. Yeah, but everything in California, it's just an absolute.
Doesn't make sense.
It's bad. You were saying earlier that you wanted to go visit. Man, you're going to be alarmed because like I had this idea when you watch the movies in the 90s, like people are running on the beach.
And New York, the concrete jungle, LA is like beautiful weather and
No, it's tense and piss and fentanyl and witches and stuff. Literally like witches on the street, all this astrology.
For me, I want to visit, but to meet people like you guys.
Yeah. I mean, definitely visit.
There are a lot of good people.
Go check it out.
A lot of good people,
but,
hustlers and.
Yeah, I didn't really like California when I went out there. No offense to all the California people, but
no, it sucks. It's offense to you guys. Yeah, I would, California sucks.
Yeah, get the hell out of there, man. They call it California for a reason. Like so many people are getting out. Like if you're a higher earner living in California, like it's probably not in your best interest because they tax you so many different times between the state tax, county tax, city tax, all this different stuff, and then on top of that, you can like in San Francisco, you could steal up to like almost $1,000 worth of stuff and not go to jail. It's just and there's a homeless population issue. So a lot of people are going to Florida and Texas. Why? Because these states still are relatively free, low taxes. cheap to live in. You can still, even though the price of Florida has been going up thanks to New Yorkers, but yeah, man, those are some of the last frontiers left in the United States where you're still going to be like, you know, you're able to still enjoy some semblance of a high quality of life without necessarily being in a clown world like New York City or LA. But, you know, it is what it is, man. I mean, yeah, I agree. When it comes to like raising kids or whatever, when I decide to have children, yeah, I'm probably going to have to come out this way because raising kids in the United States is probably not, with the way things are, you know, you got parents, you know, kids getting kicked out of school because their parents are on OnlyFans. You got, you know, kids that are identifying as a million different genders. You got teachers teaching your children a bunch of weird stuff they don't necessarily need to know. It's just strange clown world stuff going on right now in the West in general.
Yeah,
you know, we're basically. We care more about people's feels before the reals. You know, it's like, let's all be inclusive and everything else like that versus like now we're missing the whole point of like
you're not thinking objectively children. And we're just thinking with our heart and emotions.
Yeah. Everyone's trying to virtue signal and it's annoying. It's like you don't have to virtue signal in school and in the education system about like, oh yeah, we need to be all inclusive in this. Like who cares? Like
even about like money, you know, you find these people who are like they're saying like, oh no, I don't like money. And like Naval, he talks about this a lot. You guys watch Naval Ravikant?
No.
It's pretty smart guy. He's been on Joe Rogan, like investor, like worth like 100 mil USD or something like that. Anyways, he basically says like the people who say like money's not everything and like money is not important or like we don't need money, but basically they're just status signaling. They want to show like, oh, like we're above this kind of game of like fighting for who's
because he's worth 100 mil. That's why you say nonsense like that. Yeah. Stupid.
No, he doesn't say that. He's saying that it doesn't make sense that the people who do that, you know what I mean? Basically, he's against this stuff.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Against the people that are saying like,
we don't need money. Exactly. Okay. He's worth 100 million. He's basically saying that the people who say we don't need money, they're instead of playing
who says we don't need money?
They're people who talk like money's not important and money's not everything. You haven't heard that kind of
that rhetoric, like from Bill Gates and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Not even Bill Gates, but like just like regular people who are like, money's not everything, money's not important. I don't know. There's a community. It's dumb. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, it's like they say money's not everything. Yeah, water is not everything, but like you need it to live, you know. But anyways, aside from that, I think Dubai, great place. What did your first impressions walking around or like?
It's still having our first. We haven't even really been here for 24 hours.
Yeah, there's so much I want to show you guys.
We just got off.
I'll say that very clean, very safe. Police state, but that's good. You know,
all the skyscrapers.
I haven't even seen any policemen. Like people talk about the low amount of crime. I haven't seen one cop walking around.
I'll take a police state if it's safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which it is, you know.
Yeah, and you guys did you guys see the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, Dubai Mall?
Yeah. Well, we didn't go to it yet, but we saw it like from the side.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Sick. All right. Let's talk a bit about one of our dear friends. You've made many videos with him. You've obviously met him many times and made videos with him. Myself, he sat in this chair where I'm sitting now. Andrew Tate. Yeah. I missed the guy so much.
And Tristantate, free him too.
And Tristantate, sorry, yeah. But I mean, like, I met Andrew. I had him on the podcast. Tristan and Andrew Tate been locked up. They've just been there's things been extended now. What are our thoughts? How are we gonna get them out? And what are we gonna do? Like, what's the situation?
I mean, there's a lot of work done happening behind the scenes, and I would say for people watching, the best thing to do is to keep the positive message alive. They're trying to paint this bad image and ruin his reputation and try to make it seem like he's pushing these bad ideas. But everybody who watches the content knows what he stands for. He's anti-drug. He says that we should protect women, that we should provide for them. He tells men to be their best selves. Exactly. Personally, I'm a good example of somebody who found that type of content at the right time in my life.
And it made a positive impact.
And it made a really positive impact. Like everybody who's been listening to him, like you can see it happen to you. A lot of young people 100%. Who listen to his podcast have had a positive have seen positive changes in their lives. So just for everybody watching, like what you can do right now is just say positive things and make sure to like look at the documents and try to find any of the evidence. Like the people who are saying he's a terrible person, but where's the evidence? So show me the evidence that he's a bad person, and then I'll believe you. But everybody that knows. There's nothing. They're both innocent. It's garbage.
What about those voice notes that they put on Vice? Like I definitely don't believe in them, but I'm just saying what about the people who say like, oh, I heard a Vice voice note.
Yeah, consensual role play, stuff like that is taken out of context. They try to make it seem like they always clip it up.
I also think it could be AI. I think it's very highly could be AI. It's clipped
in a certain way to make them seem like violent people. It's manipulated. If you look at the full context of it, it's never bad. There's not any damning evidence of them.
Plus, Andrew's so smart. Why the hell would he leave a voice note like that to someone?
He wouldn't.
He's not an idiot.
Yeah, he wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Plus, also, you have to think about something like, Andrew being who he is and how smart he was, if he ever hurt a girl, would he be online talking about how women, or like would he be saying like stuff about women? And he would steer as much as he could away from the topic. He'd never say anything slightly negative towards women because he'd want to steer as far away as he could.
Yep.
So him talking as much as he talked about the whole women's situation, it shows that obviously he would never do anything, like he would never have any crimes in that field where people could look and say like, oh yes, what he's saying matches the crimes, or like it relates in any way whatsoever.
So here's the thing. I used to actually investigate human trafficking when I was an agent.
For
Homeland. So like this is something that I could speak about. Well, number one, they're 100% innocent. I spent a significant amount of time with them. These guys aren't holding girls against their will. If anything, they're
100%.
trying to get the girls out the house. If anything,
you gotta kick them out. There's too many.
I mean, and here's the thing: I've seen girls be rude to them. Right when I was there in Romania, we were there for like weeks.
Yeah,
and they still would get them an Uber, get them a cab, whatever. Like they went out of
gentlemen.
their way.
They're gentlemen.
They really are gentlemen, and they're
Chivalrous.
big on being gentlemen as well. And there's so many. Okay, let's talk about Vice first, right?
Yeah.
So you talk about the voice clips. There's two things. Let's say the voice things are real. The voice notes are real. Let's say they are real, right?
For argument's
Even though
sake.
there's a bunch of evidence showing that it's AI and it's BS. I've seen a text conversation. The girl said it's not grape if it's consent. So we already know that was a conversation that was already being had where that's like a kink for the girl, right? That's number one. Number two, let's say, and then the other option is that it's AI and it's fake. But either way, they never showed the entire conversation. They just played like the voice notes, but they don't know is that a lot of girls have fetishes for this stuff, guys. Ta-da! I know a lot of people don't tell you this. The nice guys don't know this. The simps don't know this. These blue pill losers don't know this. The weird libtards don't know this. But the reality is a lot of girls have weird fetishes like this with dominance and men being assertive, whatever. If you look at the top book, right, that women love to read, one of them is what? 50 Shades of Grey.
BDSM.
Who is the man? A guy who's tall, dominant, millionaire, assertive, all this other stuff. Women like that type of stuff. A lot of them do.
They don't want to be responsible for being 304s.
They want plausible deniability. And then the other thing too, they try to say, oh, well, Andrew beats girls. And what did they use? They used that stupid videotape footage of them on the bed where he slapped the girl. She went on air twice saying, oh, this is something that me and him used to do together. It was something that I liked.
She consented.
And then here's the other thing too. People don't have critical thinking skills. Think about this. If you're really going to be smacking a girl and assaulting her and all this other stuff,
why would you?
Would you set it up in front of the bed with a tripod, whatever? Like people really don't have critical thinking skills. So they hear a voice note out of context. They don't know if it's AR or not. Right? And then you look at the actual text conversation. She's like, it's not grape if it's consent. So bam, that's out the way. And then number two, you're over here looking at a footage of like, oh yeah, I seen him assault a woman, blah, blah, blah. She goes on air and says, this is something that I like. But people still keep trying to say, oh no, he hits women, blah, blah, blah. No, he doesn't, bro. And if you use common sense, you would know no guy that actually abuses women is going to set up a tripod in front of their bed and then do it right there and then have it. Like what?
How many years, you're 100% right. How many years did you know Andrew?
I've known Andrew since 2020.
So, but it was, I think one of the first podcasts like he was going on, it was like one of the first viral ones at least was
Yeah. When he came on, we've known Andrew for a while.
You hung out with him a lot, yeah?
Yeah, and,
bro,
and it's just
so
crazy.
nice. Such a nice guy. The fact that he came on this podcast, obviously, like I helped him a bit out in Dubai, but he had nothing to gain by coming on this podcast. I'd already helped him with whatever he needed help with, and he had nothing to gain, but he wanted to just support me. And bro, one of the nicest guys I met. You can ask anyone who's in the studio who works here. Marwan's there. He'll tell you, like, the guy's gentleman.
And here's the thing, like he's always been that way. Been very polite, very nice. When he's come on our show, he's always treated the women that come on the panel very well. And the thing, people see like these clips and they try to put things out of context with it. And I love how they play certain parts, right? And they don't play other parts. For example, right now, what they're trying to do is they're taking all this footage from a course that he used to have called the PhD course, right? On how to get girls. And they put the parts where he talks about like pimping or whatever, blah, blah. But they don't show the parts where he says, be a gentleman, be nice to girls. If a girl says no or doesn't want to hang out with you, no problem, get a ride home. They don't play any of that. They only play the stuff where he's talking about, okay, this is what you got to do to be attractive, blah, blah, blah. They don't play everything in full context, which also bothers me because when we live in this TikTok era, this out of context clip era that we have, you could take something, 10 seconds of it, and really make it look crazy, especially if you edit it in a certain way.
100%.
And no one watches anything in context nowadays. If you watch a full-on interview, most of the times, even as big a detractor is like, wow, I agree with that. I see where he's coming from. But they don't want to get to figure it out.
They want the quick statement.
They want to be haters.
They read the headlines only.
And then not only that, no one pushes all the information that shows that these guys are clearly innocent. The WhatsApp messages just came out.
No, yeah, that's crazy.
I don't see mainstream media pushing
pretty much not one mainstream news source has covered that at all.
Yeah.
That's why independent journalists need to go and start covering this, because the two girls that got him arrested for trafficking back in April of 2022, they were on WhatsApp saying, let's make a Netflix series about this. Let's pretend and let's make them think that we're in love with them. Let's go sell it. Make your best Oscar-worthy performance.
For you guys who don't know, the news just came out that there was a leaked wire or whatever that showed chats that they planted, or like as in they had the intention to frame him.
They planned, and even like the girl's mom was upset with her, like, why are you getting the embassy involved? Why are you doing this? Why are you? And they want attention that bad. This is the attention economy that we live in. These girls prioritize TikTok clout. They're demanding all this money. They wanted to start a TikTok career to dance in front of their phones instead of actually having basic human decency. These are evil people. The phone has turned people into actual demons. Like when they prioritize attention, when they have no morals at all, and they just want validation from TikTok, that's when people really become evil.
The girl that accused Andrew, right? It's 1,000% cap. She came from London. She's a Moldovan girl. She came and she stayed at the house for several weeks, if not a month. She went jogging every day. She with the dog. She went to the grocery store. She went shopping. She was doing her thing, whatever, taking Ubers all over the place. Tell me how you're being held against your will if you're going in and out of the house whenever you want.
Leaving, coming,
Yeah, and then also on top of that, she wanted 200,000 euro, and she wanted Andrew to help her with her TikTok career. He said no, and then she was like, oh, I'm going to go and make this false allegation. And then now we have the WhatsApp messages, right? Clearly, where you can see them conspiring with each other to lie and frame him for monetary gain. And the fact that they're still in jail right now, preventative with no charges, is ridiculous. This is a violation of human rights.
Yeah,
what do you think?
This is crazy.
100%. When do you think we can see them out?
I mean, I know they have their hearing in late February. I hope that they get out. But at this point, you know, the Romania, they're trying to prove a point. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't try to hold them in there for the whole 6 months, right? They have up to 180 days where they could do preventive detention. Which
so the maximum they can stay in is 6 months?
6 months, 180 days. Right? And it's in 30-day increments. So every 30 days, this was basically what's happening, right? And their rule of law is a lot different than other places. But in the United States, right, you would need to have something called probable cause to arrest them, and then you have your charges, etc. In Romania, they're doing it the other way, where they don't even have charges yet. They're putting them in preventative detention.
Guilty until you're proven innocent.
And they're doing the investigation right now. So they come up with pieces of information.
And the girls are walking free.
We need 30 days. And then they just keep doing the 30-day increments.
Damn, it's mad. Anyways, moving on from Andrew, but hopefully we can see him out soon.
Well, I mean, this is just a warning sign for all men. Like you need to be extremely careful about the girls that you spend time with, especially if you're around these attention demons. They're going to try to take advantage of you. They're kind of incentivized to, because they're not going to get in any trouble. No. They get a lot of clout for it, which is what they want, and the man is guilty until proven innocent. So they're going to get away with it, and you got to be extremely careful. It's not even really worth spending time with these types of women, even for recreational use only. You might as well just protect your energy, go on SR, leave them alone, let them be, let them run around, and let them like spend time with somebody else.
Find a woman who like you think
a good quality
mother
woman
for kids, you know.
Yeah,
it's crazy where we live in a world where girls can make false accusations like this, get away with it, and not be punished for it. And one of the girls, I know this for a fact from doing my own research. This isn't the first time she's made a false allegation.
4 times before.
One of the girls.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. That's why this whole topic like gets me kind of
worked
angry.
up. I can see
because I know the guys personally. I know they would never do this stuff.
Yeah.
And then the fact that these girls are lying for financial and personal gain, right? And then they were in the French Riviera a week after they left Romania, went to French Riviera,
living life.
It cost like $10K a day to be in that area, driving around in Bentleys and Rolexes and all this other stuff. Where'd this money come from?
Yeah. From andrewtate.
Well, no, someone might have hired them to do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is all wild, and I know that there's people out there that were offering girls that dealt with Andrew and Tristan $30,000 to $50,000 to lie on them.
It's a jealousy thing, big time.
Well. Yeah,
it's a jealousy thing when you're that successful that they want to take you down, and it's not even just for the fact that they want attention, but there's something in the media, there's something in the air that's telling you that men that are successful are bad people and that you should take them down. You should take down the alpha male thing. You need to bring them down. It's not fair. They got it for different reasons, and so there's a certain hatred that's not talked about, but that's the reason that it happens. I was just talking to a girl, and she had lied about getting in the injection, and I made a joke like, I'm gonna go tell everybody you're gonna get hit. She went, no, if you do that, I'm gonna go make false essay allegations against you.
Whoa.
And she was joking too, but it was a real threat at the same time. She knew that this was the trade-off. If I tell the truth about you getting the injection, I'm gonna go lie and put you in jail.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
that girls think about that as always like,
and it's an option. Like, even the fact that she could do it in 1 second, boom.
Yeah, so
jail.
crazy.
See, in the UAE, you guys might not deal with this, but in the United States and the West in general, this believe all women thing is real, bro. A girl can make an accusation against you, and it'll ruin your life, and you're guilty.
We saw it with Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
What was that?
We saw it with Johnny.
Exactly, with Johnny Depp.
But at least finally now we're seeing. I think slowly it will change because we're seeing too many times. Hopefully Andrew will be the second person. We realize, okay, like we need to vet these claims.
I'm trying to remember here, like, what is it? If witnesses of a crime, when it comes to Sharia law, what is it? It's one. You need 4 women for 1 male witness.
I think so. Yeah.
It's 4 to 1. Hey man, I'm not saying women aren't credible witnesses, but what I am saying is that they're heavily influenced by their emotions.
Or maybe 2.
You know what I mean?
2 or 4, yeah.
Yeah, but
the point is,
yeah, for to be able to accuse someone of a crime, but it's been that way. Islam fixes so many issues, man.
Yeah, I agree, and we should talk about Islam as well.
Yeah.
So for me, alhamdulillah, I'm Muslim. I've been born Muslim, and you?
Yeah, same. But I need to become a better Muslim. This is something that I need to work on.
No, of course, we all have our own.
I grew up in a Muslim household.
Either.
You know what I mean? My family's from Sudan. They came to the United States in the 80s. But my parents are both very religious. They pray 5 times a day. My mom covers her hair. Yeah, my parents are very religious.
Mom,
And
it's especially harder to. Sorry, let me say one last point before we go to the andrewtate podcast, the andrewtate part. But I just want to say that if you guys should realize, if we have 2 massively popular guests who are putting their reputation on the line constantly and saying this is not true, and these guys have hung out with Andrew, they've seen him around girls, they've been with him around girls, off camera, on camera, and if they're putting their whole reputation on the line, when the guy's inside, like right now Andrew's in jail right now, he can't give you any help necessarily, or he's not.
I haven't spoken to him since he's been locked up.
Oh, okay. You have not much benefit to stand right now by standing here and protecting him.
Yeah. No, actually, every sign is telling me not to do that. There's people close to me that are saying like, look at you supporting a trafficker. They're upset with me. Yeah, everybody's saying like you're putting your reputation. Imagine if they're guilty, you're gonna look stupid. But I believe in the truth.
You know what I mean? And that should be enough proof, you know?
Yeah. And not only that, like I look at it like, hey man, if you guys want to go ahead and attack them or whatever, and they can't defend themselves, well, I'll be here to help, because at the end of the day, there's so much misinformation, and we're going to use our platform. Anytime new evidence comes out or new information comes out, I cover it immediately. Hey, this is what's going on, whatever, because the mainstream media is trying to paint them in a terrible light. So I look at it like, I have this quote. I say that, people will go ahead and definitely support you when you're like doing well, but where are the people at when they're trying to come at you?
Of course, yeah.
You know
say
what I mean?
when you're at the top, you know your friends. When you're at the top, your friends know you, but when you're at the bottom, you know your friends.
Exactly.
There's a lot of clout chasers that were really talking about him a lot when they were free, and they go silent as soon as like. There's a lot of people that like, we don't need to name names, but like when they were out there, you were using that name to better your platform.
It was good.
Like,
And I think it's kind of like you as well. Like before you got cancelled. A lot of people would like act like they were your friend, and as soon as you got cancelled,
they switched up immediately.
Many people, right?
Yep. We know a couple of those people.
Yeah. It was really eye opening for me because I had a lot of like,
you lost like a lot of like, but probably like from your income, like a good like your source of income, like probably 80% or
not 80%, but I lost a good chunk of the income, but also a good chunk of like my
online
YouTube friends,
presence,
clout friends, stuff like that. Yeah, that was a bigger. I'm like, all of you guys were fake.
Yeah, damn.
It was very eye opening, but that's when you realize that you're right, who your real friends are.
Yeah,
and this is why I thank God that I came from the professional world versus like coming into entertainment, because I used to work in law enforcement first, and like camaraderie, loyalty, etc. You're going through a door,
discipline.
Going after drug traffickers, and the person behind you got to make sure that they have you, right? And I learned all this. I'm 33 now, but I learned this discipline and loyalty and all allegiance to the people that you're with, like young, right? Yeah. But these young boys, especially these people on like the internet, whatever, they don't have any of this stuff. So I was like, what the hell? So like,
because we're taught to prioritize clout and stuff like that.
Yeah, they prioritize what does well for them. So I look at it like, if some new news comes out with Andrew, I'll push back the show I was gonna do. We got to report this because we got to get this out there. We got to use our platform to put out the truth about what's going on. And hey, man, he's my friend. I'm gonna stick with him until
me too. You know what I mean?
Whatever.
For me, I have that thing in me. Like I have that
until the
guy.
End.
Yeah, if there's a guy who's like my boy, I don't care.
Yeah,
because
people come to me too. Oh, bro, you're defending him. Bro. I don't care. We are gonna defend him. We are, because I know him, so I don't care what you think. We're gonna defend him until the end.
100%. We'll do this on every single podcast.
Exactly.
We'll represent it.
Exactly.
We'll hold that position for him.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's great.
People really is the gang sign for toxic masculinity now.
I don't understand that. But by the way, let's just say like the video of him coming outside the house doing this, like cold. You know what I mean? Like I want to put them on wallpaper. It's cold photo. But yeah, obviously messed up situation. We're going back on the subject about Islam and stuff. Your mom, my mom, obviously hijab, all my cousins. And that's another thing about the hijab. A lot of people straight away when it comes to hijab, what the hell is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, I think what a lot of people don't realize, at least for me, and you can tell me about yourself, but
Yeah.
for me, my younger cousins, girls, as they're growing up, they're the ones who want to wear they want to wear it before they even have to buy Islamic clothes. They want to wear it before because for them, obviously they see their mom wearing it, their aunts wearing it, but nobody in my whole community, nobody I know that I'm slightly related to, that I'm friends with, that is Muslim, that wears their hijab, wears it out of force, you know? They all wear it because they want to wear it. And I think, of course, same in your side. So I don't understand. They talk about freedom and they don't want to let us wear what we want to wear. When we want to cover our hair. And the thing is, they don't want modesty because obviously, as you said earlier about this whole movement, you know, for the...
Well, I've always said it. Girls get mad at me when I say this because girls will come on the podcast and they'll be mad at them like, men don't respect us or they treat us like crap or they're always sexualizing us or whatever. And my response is, you can only be sexualized. Women are only sexualized if they sexualize themselves first. It's on the woman, it's her responsibility to not look like a hoe. Because if you look like a hoe or you dress like a hoe, guess what? People are going to treat you like a hoe. But girls in America are so delusional that they think, I'm going to behave like a hoe, I'm going to dress like a hoe, I'm going to talk like a hoe, I'm going to act like a hoe, I'm going to do all this whole stuff. But expect people to not treat me like a hoe. And the world that we live in just doesn't operate that way.
Of course, if I'm a man and I get a girl by everything, by showing money, right? So like I get her just by showing her a nice car, I take her to a nice restaurant. Obviously, that's what she's gonna be interested because that's what I showed her. And everyone's like, yeah, of course you got a gold digger because that's all you show. You use your money to lure her. But you know, when it comes to the opposite, they want some like different scenario.
Yeah, it's people typically treat you how you put yourself out there. So. But with women, they don't understand is that men cannot objectify you unless you objectify yourself first, and this is where Islam solves this issue because it protects woman's modesty. And the reality is that it's very difficult for a man when he sees a beautiful woman and her beauty is being shown to be impartial and take her seriously. Let's just be honest here. They're going to look at her as a sexual object to a degree. This is why they want to cover her hair. This is why they don't want her to show her figure, etc. It's to protect her from the dark side of male sexuality. Right? Because when men look at an attractive girl and her body's out there, what do they think? Well, immediately their head goes into the gutter.
And sometimes it's hard even for them to have a proper conversation.
Exactly.
Or they're distracted.
They're going to think, wow, she's really smart and all this other stuff. No, they're immediately going to sexualize her. And if you don't believe that, then you don't live in reality. You know what I mean? And at least first, that's the first thing that hits you is the looks. But if she comes in and she dressed modestly or whatever, then you're going to be more attentive to what she has to say because you're not so concerned with what you see.
And that's why for me, I talk about this a couple of times, especially with Hamza and even with Luke Belmore, and even Iman. I told him as well, like for me, I'm gonna do an arranged marriage. So I don't know how much you guys know about that, but in our community, you're very familiar. I'm sure you've got the option many times.
Yeah, my parents have been trying to do it for years, bro.
They showed you on the iPad. Like, listen, you have this cousin, this cousin back in Sudan maybe or whatever. They're like, you have this cousin, you have this, but.
Wait, you guys marry your cousins?
No, so it's not necessarily it has to be a cousin. It can be a cousin, but most time for me it's gonna be like a family friend or like maybe a cousin's cousin. But like there's no relation.
Back in the day, it used to be like you could do a cousin or whatever. Obviously, hell no, not now. But it's they'll say that where like they'll be a close family friend and they'll refer to them as an uncle, then they'll say it's a cousin, but it's really not.
It's just it's a figure of speech when you say cousin.
It's a figure of speech.
But there are people who marry. Do you think that's very weird?
I'm not marrying my cousin.
I'm not either, but it is something that.
But I mean, if you had, let me ask you this: if you had like a perfect cousin, but like perfect, like every ticks all the boxes.
I'm good on that, man. I'll find another girl.
but
arrange a different girl.
What if it's like a third cousin? Still no?
No 1st through 10th cousin. 11th, then I'll be like, okay.
It's funny though.
I'm not doing it, but I don't like. They're gonna get mad at me for saying this. I don't. Some Sudanese girls are hot, but yeah, typically not my preference.
Yeah, not your cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea.
Yeah. Anyways, so I think that for me, when you have a girl that's obviously raised with the right values, let's say, for example, my mom, she goes to the mosque, right? And she goes on the women's side. And the women and men are obviously segregated. Yeah. And she finds women there who are going to the mosque. And she knows their parents who have raised them with the right values, right principles from the day one, you know?
Yep.
You know, they know about life. They know about values and what
they know their
morals and principles that they should stand by. So that's very important for me. Like in the Western culture, I've noticed that, like, let's say even once you get married, let's say if it's arranged marriage, the families are merged, right? So let's say if we fight, the families like tell us, like, you know, sort it out. And by the way, you can go on Google right now and search what is the divorce rate for an arranged marriage. Look it up right now. 4%. 4%.
Yep.
And it even says
compared
right under
over
that.
50% in America.
Exactly. A flip of a coin. Strike of luck. So what I'm saying is, if you have the opportunity that you have a woman who like is from your mom's side or from your dad's side, like your dad like tells your family, friends, and when the families are merged, I don't know if it's possible in all communities, but for me it's very viable. My brother did it, my cousins all did it. None of them have really any problems. Everyone's smooth. In fact, the people in the family who didn't do it, they're the ones who have like.
Yeah.
And also another thing is so let's say, as I said, the families are merged. Yeah, the girl has a fight with you. She goes to her mom. Her mom's an experienced, someone who's been married 30, 40 years, who can be like, listen, when this happens, this is how you deal with it, and you have to have this conversation with them, sit down, and they can give them from an experience point of view. Whereas in a Western society, girl has a fight with the guy. Who does she go to? Her best friends.
Yeah,
her best friends. They want the friend back.
And
let's you know what I mean? Let's hit the club. Let's do
go to the
this.
club. Let's go bang another guy. It's a bunch of
They don't give any good advice.
Yeah,
they really don't, and they know it too.
So, anyways, moving on from this though, Islam. Praying, you're saying your parents pray 5 times a day. Have you started praying? Do you pray often?
I prayed this morning actually. I went to there's a prayer room in the hotel.
Yes, I saw it
put the mat down and I said a prayer. Yeah.
Nice. So is that like the Christian prayer like this or?
No, I tried to do an Islamic prayer with going on my knees and everything. Yeah.
Wow.
He's gonna convert soon.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
No, well.
We're gonna get him to convert.
I think about it. I've been reading the Bible and the Quran. Yeah. I'm not sure.
I mean, obviously no pressure, but I'm interested to hear your experience.
I mean, if we're gonna be honest, there's 2 different ways of thinking in my position right now.
Yeah.
It's which one you believe more, and at the moment, I think that they're very similar, Christianity and Islam.
100%.
So the belief systems, it's pretty equal. The one reason I think Islam makes more sense in some ways is like the Holy Trinity thing. In Christianity, like it's God is the Son and also the Son is God, but a human isn't perfect. I understand like that debate. But also in Islam, if you're thinking strategically, not just with belief system, Islam is going to win. It's the only religion that does not tolerate any disrespect. In the church right now in America, you could have trans priests. You could have there's gay pride flags in the church.
Yeah.
I was in Madison Square Garden in New York, and some guy like a bumbleclaw guy was walking around with a Jesus cross on his shirt, and he had a big X on it. And I was thinking that, I was just looking at him, like imagine if you had an
Islamic crescent or something.
If imagine, I don't want to say that, but like imagine if you wouldn't make it home. Like you wouldn't make it home looking the way you looked. Something would happen to you. And that's the reason why it's going to win, is because you need to stand for something. And Jesus has kind of become a mockery. Taylor Swift came out and she said that God is actually gay. And there's people saying that God is gender neutral. Now gender fluid God.
God is not they.
God is a they them. The Pope is saying that we should revise it and we should allow gay people, and that he's also pro-choice, which goes against, like they're trying to rewrite the core beliefs of this religion, and that's when it falls apart. When you try to adjust for the liberal woke mob, when you try to like become woke, it's over.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking strategically, like Islam is like, it's the way.
If you don't, they say if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. And and I think in there you can see like they're trying to
Andrew says that.
Yeah, huh? Andrew says that. Yeah, for sure. I'm sure he has. And I think that if you like you said, Christian, and I have nothing against Christians, by the way. I should say that like they're good people. And in Islam, actually, it says like Christians and Muslims are both people of the book.
Yeah.
And you guys are like from people Ahl Kitab. It's like you're people of the book. We're people of the book as well. And we have nothing but respect for Christians. But I think that definitely they should not try to make their religion appeal to the masses just because they want to be inclusive.
They want to be all inclusive.
They should stick for what they stick with, and their values, because they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
Anyways, so moving on, wanted to talk a bit about, let's say there's some people who are watching this video, they may be or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and they want to be more successful. They're starting out. They see Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate inspired a lot of people to want to have nice things, make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And let's talk a bit about that.
Sure.
What do you guys suggest? Yeah.
I think following God. I think that's the best thing, to follow your morals and principles. What I like about Muslim people is they don't believe in making money in any false way. They don't believe in scamming. They don't believe in doing any sneaky thing, weird interest things. That's not Islamic at all. So I think following, I think what's helped me a lot is praying every day. That got rid of a lot of my, like I had mental health, like nonsense stuff. Beforehand, I was just like this and like this is dumb. I didn't have a clear direction. And so there was a lot of wasted time. I would spend time like smoking weed a lot. I would spend time thinking, or
you didn't have an outlet.
Yeah, I didn't have any proper guidance, and I wasn't even sure what I wanted to do. So there was a lot of time that I was spending with a bunch of degenerate stuff that was not focused on my mission and my purpose.
Yeah.
And once I started having a clear direction and knowing what I'm supposed to do and doing the right thing, that's when everything started to make sense in the rest of my life.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I think a big reason why I was able to make something myself is, number one, I never focused on girls throughout my 20s, right? And then also, I've never done a drug in my life, never smoked weed, never did anything.
Nice.
Right? And then the other thing too is that
you don't drink.
No, very rarely. I have drank in the past, haram, I know.
That's true. He barely.
If I do, it's very rare. So I would say like the three things that really kept me away from doing anything stupid was I was an athlete. I played sports in college, where I was a Division I athlete. I rode. And then I never did a drug in my life, never smoked weed, none of that stuff. And then I drank very rarely, even to this day now as an adult, like I drink very rarely, if ever. So if you get rid of like stupid distractions like that, you'd be amazed at how productive you'll be.
100%.
And then throughout my 20s, I didn't really chase girls like that. You know, I dealt with girls here or there, but in my 20s, especially like from 23 to like 28, 29.
Grinded.
Oh, yeah, I was in the southwest border chasing after cartel people.
Yeah.
You know, with drugs and human trafficking and guns and all this other stuff. So I was really focused on like building my career and becoming a better agent. But I learned a lot of like life lessons from that job.
What'd you do for fun back then?
Nothing. Like I would go to the gym and train and maybe watch some documentaries here or there. I played Overwatch a decent amount. Like I played video games back then.
That was your vice.
That was my vice back then. But like now,
you don't game anymore, right?
No, I quit.
No time.
I quit. Yeah, I quit video gaming in like 2019 when I moved to Miami. But
now girls are your new video game.
I would say a little bit.
But I don't think, do you think you need to have a vice?
I don't think you need to.
You tend to.
I'm the type of person to see that when we talk about this stuff, I'm like, I would be so bored. Like if I had an arranged marriage, like I'm trying to like picture my life, like marrying my third cousin and like the marriage is all aligned and it makes sense and the families are going back and forth. And I'm like the amount of time I spend womanizing and just doing, partying, I drink, I'm like, I can't imagine. That's how I need to rewire my brain because I'm just used to having that reward system and chasing dopamine to that level.
Yeah, hedonism.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It is, but it is short-term fun, and there's a lot of times where you finish and you're just like, okay.
It's the fun that makes you sadder after.
Yeah, I was talking to Myron, like we were walking back from the podcast one night. I'm like, what's the point of this? Like I was, like the girls and the short-term sex. It's like, well, it feels good, but like the point of sex is to procreate. It's to have kids, and like we're doing this shit. Like there's no point. It's just sad. It's like gaming, literally, and gaming is just like you're constantly looking for the next level up. But it doesn't do anything. There's no actual point to it. So why waste time doing it?
What I've typically learned is things that give you upfront pleasure typically almost always 100%. Lead to back end pain.
100%.
But things that give you pain upfront,
they give you
typically give you back end pleasure, right?
That's
whether
true.
it's building a business, saving money, gratifying, going to the gym. Delayed gratification is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Which is why I think the gym is so important, especially in today's day and age where we live in an instant gratification world. The gym is one of the few things left where you have to exercise this ability to have delayed gratification. So, but yeah, man, I think a lot of guys need to take their 20s and grind. Like that's what I did, and that's why I was able to kind of build myself up to a point. Like now, I'm just kind of starting to enjoy the fruits of my labor. Yeah. But yeah, man, throughout my 20s, I remember like sleeping on the mattress on the floor, right, and like waking up at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning.
That's what makes this part now enjoyable. If you had not done that, this would not be enjoyable.
You have to suffer as a man, dude. You really do, and it made me. I didn't become a millionaire until I was about 31.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I made the money after the fact, after learning the basics, right? Of like what it is to be a man, what it is to go to the gym, living on your own, talking to bad guys, arresting people, etc. Like that job forced me to grow up very quickly, which I'm glad for because now I've been able to take that skill set, bring it into YouTube, bring it into business, etc. So certain things like are just ingrained in me. Like for example, why do you stand up for Andrew? Because that's just how I am. Why are you so loyal to your friends, the people that you work with? Like you're never gonna
live by a code.
Yeah, like you're not gonna see. This is why some YouTubers I just don't like. I won't even mention them, but like they'll do a video with you, they'll collab with you, and then they'll go ahead and make a hit piece on you a couple of weeks later, or a month later, or a couple months later, right? Well, maybe when you're down or whatever, because they want to get some AdSense. Right? because they want to get some AdSense. And to me, I've never understood that. If I collab with you and I get along with you, you're never going to catch me talking poorly about you. I'm going to shout you out. I'm going to speak highly of you, etc. But there's not that code in the entertainment thing, which was foreign to me. That's something that I actually had to acclimate to coming to this side of the internet.
They betray each other over here.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Surprising,
but I'm glad that I learned these rudimentary basics, right? This character building from going to the gym, from working that job, from being in law enforcement, etc. Because the other thing too in law enforcement, if you get caught lying, right, you lose your job, you lose your credibility, and you can get in some serious trouble. So being honest was a thing that you had to do, especially when you're on the stand. So, 100%. And I've testified hundreds of times. So it's just something that was like built into my character. And then on top of that, doing drugs, being an athlete before, already having this active lifestyle, it all builds upon itself. And I think the foundation is going to the gym because you learn that discipline, you learn that character building, you learn that delayed gratification, and then everything can build upon that.
That's why I like what you're doing now with the whole Instagram stories thing.
Yeah, guys have to actually go out of their way now. The social media generation, like we have to go out of your way. You can't just expect to have a good life as a man without forcing yourself to go to the gym and to be a better person, to have a network of people around you, to have good friends and like actively look for these relationships. You're not just going to go find them. Like there's a lot of groups that you can go like in the past, but now you have to go and actively seek them out or else you're going to get left behind. And it's getting harder with the attention economy.
Networking thing.
Yeah. I have my creativity kit, but of course there's other places you can go to find it.
You can talk about that though.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I provide. Like the creativity kit is a network for people who are red pilled who want to go and make money online. But I've been posting all these gym stories every day to try to motivate other men to like it's not using Instagram to try to get validation, to try to like show off. It's just like I could be watching porn right now, I could be sipping on Twitch, I could be doing some bullshit, but here I am doing the hard thing every single day, and I want to hold everybody accountable to that. That's why they post each other. That's why we make fun of each other. It's like it's motivating for me. You know, every single day it's like I have to be responsible for this post because everybody's looking for me to do it. And everybody who posted it one day, like if they don't do it the next day, then they're like they feel stupid.
They're not part of the group anymore.
They're not part of it.
Guys, to give you guys some context, if you go on Sneako's Instagram story right now, you'll see tens, if not hundreds of people who are posting stories in the gym saying that they could be doing X, Vice, whatever they have. But
they could be watching Netflix. They could be jerking off. They could be
they write that.
Could be watching Auburn preach.
And they tag.
You had to do it.
and they tag Sneako in it, and then Sneako reposted. And if you go, it's very wholesome. You'll see like all these young males hitting the gym, working hard. And this is what I really, really like about you two and Andrew as well, and Tristan, of course, that, you know, when I was growing up, this was the non-cool thing to do. And I think for you guys as well, when I was growing up in school, I was looking for people who kind of had this ideology, but this was always that, like, if you didn't vape or if you didn't smoke, if you didn't smoke weed, you weren't cool, you know what I mean? And it's finally now having like people to come out and say, because it wasn't easy for you guys to first say like, oh, doing this is, I'm sure people thought, oh, cringe, oh, this,
That's
that.
exactly how I heard about Fresh and Fit. Because self-improvement and becoming a better person in the woke world is like, oh, like you think you're like an alpha male? You think you're like trying to be better? What? That's stupid. Come sit down and get fat with me. When I first heard about Fresh and Fit, it was like everyone all day, hippies. And I was sitting around in this woke world, kind of directionless, didn't believe in God, degenerate. And I'm like looking at you two, like, what do I do now? What I am tired of doing these cinematic videos. I get doing interviews all the time. Everyone's a bot. I don't know what to think. And I'm watching everybody like all actively, so many hippies is like, these guys are stupid. I hate them.
Toxic alpha males
like,
is what they refer to.
You think you're alpha?
I've never referred to myself once as an alpha, but they call me a toxic alpha male, or I say I'm alpha, and I've never once called myself alpha.
They call me that too now. They probably call you that. Like, oh, you're like an alpha male? And then the whole philosophy behind that is they think it's cringe to try to be better. It's lame. You're supposed to be like, they're supposed to be canceling. That is the woke virus. And I looked at that and I was trying to figure out like, why do they hate you so much? And I watched the content and like, this is good. And I went on your show and like, they were cool. And then I went back and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? Like, do I make a hippies video? Like, no, I'm not gonna go be a snake. Like, I'm just tired of living this way.
That provides some value.
And then that happened to me. The same people who are making all those hit pieces about them. Hey, guess what? I get canceled. And what do they do? You're like an alpha male, and I'm like, he was right. I should have listened to him. Man.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. Like these reaction channels, their job is to be impartial and be in the middle. But the problem is that they don't stand for anything. They don't really. If you look at like a lot of these reaction channels, like, have they helped you make more? I want all the viewers out there.
Think about it.
Like these guys that talk the most crap about us, did they help you make more money? Did they help you become more attractive to women? Did they help you figure out how to go to the gym or lose weight or get in shape or become more attractive? Did they teach you how to invest? Did they teach you how to become a better man in general? Teach you about masculinity, being positive, etc.? Or did they give you some stupid reaction video where they reacted to us saying that we're toxically alpha, blah blah blah,
and made some funny dumb jokes,
or use some bullshit like this is problematic? You know, anyone that says some dumb shit like this is problematic. You know what I mean? Like any of these dorks, like did they actually help you in any way, or did they give you stupid commentary?
That's facts.
And waste some time. And the reality is, what you're gonna find is they typically didn't give you any value, and they just gave you some mindless entertainment. And that's what they do. They'll sell you out for AdSense. That's what it is, and they don't help you actually become a better man. So anything that's good, like self-improvement content, making you a better man, etc., it's immediately demonized as toxic alpha male, blah blah blah. And it's a lot of the time it's these soy boys that do it. It's the soy boy YouTubers that do it, that aren't in shape, don't have their shit together. Look at the guys that criticize us the most. You're gonna notice there's a trend. They typically have some weird long shaggy hair.
They look trans.
They're fat.
They look trans.
They look like crap. This is problematic.
Well, that's what the attention economy has done. When you can monetize talking, you don't have to actually say something that improves. Like you could just be doing the same. Like Moist Critical, for example, has been making the same exact video on repeat since like 2014. Like same thing. Like this is every single day they get down. This is dumb. I don't like this. This is boring. This is dumb. This is stupid for 10 years straight, and then they don't change anything because that's the attention economy. As long as you're speaking, you're going to make money, so you're not incentivized to speak any truth or speak anything of value if you could just talk and make wet fart jokes. If you could do that, you'll monetize it forever because there's always going to be a demographic of 17-year-old losers who don't want to change your game all day who are going to watch it.
Yeah, facts. Oh, wait, quick question.
Yep.
What does a day in your life look like, and what does a day in your life look like?
Okay, so for me, okay.
What times you wake up? From what you wake up to?
So I live like I'm nocturnal. So we do our show at 7 p.m. I'll typically wake up at like maybe 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So I'll typically wake up like right before the show, like 5 p.m. or something like that.
What?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I'll take you through it, right? So I'll wake up at like 5 p.m.
Damn.
I'll prepare for the show, right? Depending on what the topic is, and then we'll do the show at 7. We'll be done by like 8:30 at the first show. Then I'll go to the gym. I'll go work out, and then I'll come up and we'll do the nighttime show with the girls. Every day? 4 or 5 days a week.
Okay.
And then I'll come back upstairs, right? Because I'll go to the gym in my building. Then I'll come back upstairs and we'll film the show with the girls.
Damn.
Right? And then after we do that, we'll be done by like maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Then we eat, and then after that, I'll get like work done, whether it's preparing for the next show. I was working on my book for a while, so that took me quite a bit of time. Recording
the
it
link
for Audible,
to buy
whatever.
The book will be in the
description. Why Women Deserve Less, guys. It's live now. Audible version coming very soon. Yeah. But I was working on that, typing it up, and then also with doing the Audible version of it because I recorded it myself.
Yeah, sick, better. I like Audible, and especially the ones that the author does it himself.
Yeah, and I like go like because I use a lot of my phrases and stuff in the book. But so I would do that, or preparing for the next show, or basically, or I'll because I have another YouTube channel called Fed It where I break down criminal cases. It's like a true crime channel.
Nice.
Or I'll do research for that, where I'll be like, okay, which case am I gonna do next?
Yeah.
If it's like a serial killer,
so you grind basically.
Yeah. So if it's like a serial killer or whatever, like I'll do like pretty extensive research.
Nice.
And I'll cover it on that channel.
His whole background, upbringing, everything.
Exactly. So that I can do it, so that when I come on and I do it live, it's like okay, if I pre-record it, I'll be able to speak in an educated fashion, and I put timestamps in it too. I'm real big on timestamps. So then I'll do that until like 7, 8, 9, 10 in the morning, work throughout the night, and then go to sleep and then do it over again.
Wow, 7 to 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So yeah, I'm like nocturnal.
So from 9 to 5 p.m. you sleep.
Yeah.
Like a reverse 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's a reverse 9 to 5 because our show's at night. So I basically wake up right before the show, prepare, do it, gym, second show, eat, and then work throughout the night.
I actually did this for a time when I was like, so during Ramadan, as a kid, I used to, if there's any Muslims out there, they know. When you're fasting, you have to like break your fast at like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. like sunset. Yeah. So we usually like stay awake and then like we'll sleep throughout the whole fast. So that it's the sleeping time. We'll put it during the fast.
Cheating.
It's kind of low key. It is basically cheating. By the way, fasting we should talk about later. Like fasting and productivity is like a massive. Nowadays, the science has caught up to Islam. What we were saying that now there's like literally it's like they talk about what's it called, intermediate fasting. And we were like doing this shit for ages, hundreds of years ago. Anyway, so we were talking about basically what did you say?
Yeah, that's my schedule, but that's typically the schedule. I'm nocturnal.
Yeah. But do you think that? So I don't know, but I think they say that the quality of sleep in daytime is because I like the schedule. I would love to do this, but they say the schedule that you have and your quality of sleep is a lot lower during the daytime. Yeah. Have you noticed that?
No, I mean, I'm okay because here's the thing. I'm used to it now because when I was working for the government, I used to work at night too.
So
Because I would get called out late at night all the time, 2, 3 in the morning. They'd catch
That's when the crimes happen.
Some crook. Yeah, so I was used to it even since 2014. I've been that way.
Yeah.
So I'm heterosexual, so I go to the gym 7 days a week. I wake up at around 11 and then...
Damn.
Yeah, 10 or 11. And then have breakfast, do a lot of creativity kit work that's been consuming a lot of my time recently. A lot of professors to handle, talk to the people, add a video for that, and then make sure everything's running there. There's been a lot of like behind the scenes business stuff that I've been doing. And then I stream at 8 p.m. every single day, rumble.com/Sneako every day.
Check it out, link in bio.
Yeah. And that's a lot of times, like 3 to 5 hours every single night. I go on Fresh and Fit probably like once a week at this point for the past
couple
couple
right
months.
down the street from us.
Yeah, like
we're all in Miami. We're all in Brickell, the same neighborhood. So
I've probably been going like once a week. So like that'll be sometimes, but yeah, and then that's pretty much so business work and investing.
Do you go out every day?
I don't go. There was a time where like Fresh, I was going out. So Fresh is like, if Myron's there working 9 to 5, Fresh will go do the show and then go to the club and twerk and sniff coke and stay at a section.
He doesn't do that.
And then stand next to rappers.
He doesn't even drink. He doesn't even drink, bro.
Nah, he doesn't drink. I'm lying right now, but yeah. So I was going out with Fresh for a while, like, but then it's kind of a waste of time. Recently, I haven't really been going out as much.
Yeah, you mentioned like basically no social life in your day. Like, I mean, it's just work and then sleep, basically.
Yeah.
The shows
the
is
gym,
your
work,
social
show. Yeah, because by the time I'm done debating the girls, dude, I'm like tired. Like, because it takes a lot out of you to like sit there and debate them for like 2-3 hours, like just talking with the delusion. Like, girls in the West are not like girls here. You know what I mean? Like,
they'll keep going.
Yeah, and they'll argue about stupid stuff. Like, I'll say something like, men are physically superior to women. Well, not all the time. And then they'll sit there and make an argument for like the 1% of girl that like, you know, beat a guy in some kind of physical competition. I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, dude, it's just wild. And then one time I remember we debated like some feminists or whatever, and they just kept going, and it's just wild. But like, yeah, dude,
they can't concede. The fact that they're saying that women are almost as strong as men sometimes, blah, blah. The whole reason we're able to have this argument is because men set up the lights. Men are outside with guns. The security guards are men.
Men are outside with guns.
Men built I mean, the policemen. If something happens, like if it's
I got you.
For you to feel safe in this room,
because of men.
Yeah, to have this stupid debate, it's because men are there who are going to be able to put out the fires.
Feminism is around because men allowed it, and women will not admit that. But you know, as soon as like some chaos happens or something wild, or there's like a life or death situation, and women immediately revert back to being ladies. If someone breaks into the house, and this happened before, we've had shows where there's been like some guy come in or some whatever, all the girls run, I go get my gun, and then I deal with the issue. Not the girls. So it's like it's been proven multiple times, even on the show, even.
Yeah. All right. What's the one core lesson out of all Andrew's hundreds of great lessons that is for you? Like, if you could, your one favorite lesson that he taught.
I made this one. My background. I saw his old Twitter account of Wudon.
Yeah.
I just made it on the plane. Yeah. He said, "How foolish a man can be to breathe air, feel the warmth of the sun." To think, live, run, fuck, smile, laugh, cry on the energy found in a few pieces of bread, and to not believe in magic. And that got me thinking, like, how everything that you consume affects your life. If bread can do that, if it can help you swim, make love, smile, go out, then the same information that you digest, the same thoughts that you think, the same words that you speak, it all has an effect on you just as much as food does, because you can reprogram your mind. You can literally hypnotize yourself with thoughts and with words.
That's deep. What about you?
I agree with Andrew on like 99% of things, man.
But what's one thing he said that for you like really stuck out? I can say like for me, I think he was like sitting in the car and he's like, I enjoy the smallest things in life. He's like, when I'm sitting in the car and there's like a bit of sunshine, and then he goes on to say, a bad day is coming. Like one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna get a call that someone you love or someone you know of has got a terminal illness or has passed away, and that day is coming for all of us. It's coming for me, it's coming for you, it's coming for you, it's coming for you guys watching, and that's the sad truth. So if you know that fact, that day is coming, and today is not that day, then why don't you be happy today, you know?
Yeah.
That you're gonna have that day to feel sad coming up. Today, you're good, you're alive, people around you, the people you love are alive. Take that into consideration, be happy, you know?
This is something, because and me and Andrew, like I said before, we agree on a lot of things, and we say the same things in different ways. So like one thing that he said that I also said one time And it's amazing, like, because we brought this guy on our show one time named Skippy, right? And he's this guy that's known for being a virgin. He had been on like TLC or whatever. And, you know, he talks about I'm depressed and all this other stuff. But what he doesn't realize is that a lot of his issues that he has comes from his own inadequacies, right?
Incompetence.
And incompetence is just being lazy. And I remember asking him, Skippy, where do you live? The United States. Do you have running water? Yes. Do you have food on the table? Yes.
True.
Do you have a family that cares about you? Yes, etc. You have nothing to be crying about.
True.
Right? And Andrew did it on another interview where he said, instead of saying, I have to go to work today, say, I get to go to work today.
Yeah, true.
Instead
of,
hey,
I have to go to the gym.
I have to go to the gym. I get to go to the gym because I have two legs, etc. And I talk about that all the time. Like, people will sit there and complain about, I'm so tired, blah, blah, blah. But there's people that are in wheelchairs that are still going to the gym figuring it out. There's people right now that wish they could go to the gym and train every day. Meanwhile, your fat ass is sitting there complaining about it, saying, I'm not going to go. So the thing is that people, right, they complain about what they don't have versus being happy and blessed for what they do have. And I always tell people, if you got running water, you got food, you live in the United States, etc., you live in a first world country, you're over here complaining to me. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Like, you're complaining to me and you're on fucking internet?
Yeah.
Shut the hell up.
Well, the new religion's woke. The new religions, that's why that people live in a world of complaining, because if you don't believe in anything, then you get your satisfaction from being dissatisfied and being able to complain about things.
And they don't want you to be grateful. They want you to be looking for the next thing.
Yes, it's short-term satisfaction all the time. I saw this video of this girl. She was at a Home Depot, and the lady that was like putting in the gas said, "What would you like, young lady?" And she wanted a whole 2-minute rant. Guess what about? About being misgendered, because she was they, them. And she's like, but I'm not even, I can't believe that she would call me like a lady. But like, she had good intentions when she did it. And so I'm like, but I know she's happy, but I'm not sure what to feel. You know what you should feel? You should be thanking God that your life is so easy that this is even considered a problem. Yeah. The fact that you're even able to complain about this, you should be on your knees thanking God that you're alive right now to be so privileged.
Someone in Syria just got an earthquake and
someone called you a nice young lady and you're mad about it.
Privilege, I say this on a podcast all the time. Privilege is invisible to those that have it. And the thing is in the first world, etc., people don't appreciate what they have because a lot of people in the United States don't have passports. They've never been to a poor country. And the other thing too, and I thank my parents for this, right? Growing up in New York City in the 90s, right? When it was we didn't grow up rich. We grew up actually fairly poor. My dad was a cab driver, got hit multiple times by people, whether he got run over, robbed, etc. We were in Brooklyn. And back then in the 90s and 80s, it was a very dangerous time to be in New York City. My mom didn't work, and my dad, one time I'll never forget, he got hit by a guy and got left there, and he had to wear a cast. Obviously, he didn't want to take welfare, so what he did was he just drove the cab with a cast, and my mom would go down 2 stories every single day, bring him upstairs, and he did this for months, right? And he didn't have insurance. And my dad always used to tell me growing up, if I was born in the United States, I'd be a somebody. If I was born here and I would go to college, etc., etc. So they instilled this appreciation in my mind of being in the United States, number one, and I have to become a somebody. There's no other way around it, right? So it made me immediately appreciate the benefits and privileges that I had because my parents always reminded me what it was like. And then I remember as a child, they brought me to Sudan one time, and then they also brought me to Egypt, and I saw how people were living out there. And that woke me up to realize, whoa, I need to stop being a crybaby. You know, seeing all the people crying, seeing people begging for begging for food on the street, etc. It really brought things home. And I'll never forget, 2005, August of 2005. I came back to the United States. I kissed the floor when we got back, and I said, yo, I'm going to look at the world completely differently. I was 15 years old. I'll never forget that. But you need experiences like that sometimes to snap you back into reality, to realize you are privileged. You need to stop being a pussy, etc. Which is why when I see people crying or fat or, oh, I don't know where, blah, 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 I'm like, yo, stop being a fucking pussy. Yeah. Like, yo, do you have running water? Yes. Do you have food? Yes. Do you have a family? Yes. Do you live in a first world country? Yes. Do you have the internet? Yes. You have no excuse to be a crybaby.
Fact.
What are you talking about? Yeah. There's people that don't even have hands, people that don't have feet. There's kids getting blown up in Syria, like you said before. And nobody, like, people think, oh, I'm mad because there's no Wi-Fi in this area. And it's crazy to me how people are so soft.
Yeah. Oh, you spoke a bit about happiness and how this guy was unhappy because he was never
saying I'm depressed or whatever. But the reality is, and we don't talk about this enough, the reason why so many men are depressed, right? And people might get mad at me for saying this. Depression a lot of times is a byproduct of your inadequacies and you being incompetent, right? As a man, you're put on earth to go out and create something, okay? A man's legacy and name is typically tied to what he did while he was alive, right? And when you get a birthday and you get a death date, and in between on your tombstone there's that dash. What the hell did you do during that dash? Did you create a name for yourself, or is no one going to remember you? Yeah. And the reality is, most of you are going to die. Nobody's going to give a fuck who you are. But what I'm going to say is, can you die today and be happy with what you've created? Will people remember you? Will people respect you? Will people say good things about you when you die? And the reality is, for most of you guys watching right now, the answer is probably no. Well, we need to turn that into a yes. Okay? And when I tell people that, then that's when they snap back into reality and say, damn, I really haven't accomplished anything. And what people don't get is that as a man, your whole value comes from creating something. So if you don't create anything, a byproduct of that is, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I don't know where I am in life. That's because reality is smacking you in the face with sadness, telling you you're inadequate. Go out there and do something. What the hell are you doing here? Whacking off to porn. What the hell are you doing over here? Eating yourself into depression. What the hell are you doing over here? Playing video games all day. You're not doing anything, which is why you feel sad. You feel sad because you haven't created anything. The whole world that we're in nowadays, all these inventions, etc., it was created by men to overcome being sad. You must create something as a man to be happy. Women don't have to worry about that. Women, their pleasure comes from creating a family, right? But they're not going to want to create a family with you if you're a loser. That's just not how it goes. So a lot of times when guys are sad, it's not because I'm depressed or I'm sad, I have this mental disorder. No, you're a fucking bitch. That's what it comes down to. But we don't want to tell people this in the West. We want to make them feel better, consolidate. Oh, go to therapy, blah, 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 blah. You know what? You want some therapy? Go to the fucking gym, okay? Make some goddamn money. Become more attractive. Take care of yourself. I promise you're going to feel a lot better than sitting here on a fucking couch with some loser. Tell me about your problems. Well, I don't know. I feel like this. Well, shut the fuck up. You feel that way because it's a byproduct of you being a loser. It's your masculinity reminding you, what are you doing? Are we going to have, is this dash going to be something? Are people going to be able to respect us at our funeral? Are people going to speak about us? Is anyone going to give a fuck if I die? And the reality is, for most people watching this, no one will give a fuck if you die. So you need to make it where people will care and they will have something good to say about you, and you create some kind of impact. Can you die tomorrow and be happy? And for most people, that's a no.
Yeah.
You need to make it a yes.
Damn, that was deep, low key.
Jeez,
bro. I got a bit tense, bro. Like, you could die today and they'll forget you. And it's actually true. You know what I mean?
It's the truth, man.
So now you want to go get it, right? I want to go make some money, man. I want to go do something. I want to go create something right now.
But honestly, that's spot on. Amazing. But
I get criticized for that a lot, saying that the gym is better than therapy. But for men, that's really the case.
I don't think therapy is necessarily bad, though.
It's not bad. A lot of people do need if you have actual trauma, stuff like that. But I say that because it's
also
necessary.
If you can afford it.
It's necessary to be somebody of action and to do something. The best use of your time is to go and make your life better.
True.
Sitting down on a couch and talking about your childhood and how, like, I got hit, I was beat, and I'm not sure. You're 30. Like, why are you still talking about your childhood? The best use of your time is to do something that's going to make you better. And most often, that's the gym. You're going to be tired afterwards. There's going to be long-term effects.
Just to play the devil's advocate, though, do you think that some people might have unresolved issues, like they would need to work out? Let's say, like...
Even if that's true, what's a better use of your time right now? Mm-hmm. Talking about it or doing something?
Yeah, but I guess for in this example... that person, let's say he can't necessarily, or like let's say if he goes to grind, he's just thinking about these, or in the background subconsciously he has these issues that he's trying to work.
But you still think about it even when you're in the gym. That's actually what I noticed is, like, when you have these problems,
you lift harder, heavier.
You lift harder. Like that last rep is like you're thinking about that shit, like fuck, and then that pain makes you stronger. You can use your trauma to make you a better person.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. But I do think that definitely you're right when you say that happiness is a byproduct of working on yourself and growth. But it begs the question. I know a lot of people who are successful, you know. There's a lot of celebrities who have committed suicide.
Of course.
Sometimes I wonder, that's like really when I wonder, like, you know what I mean? Like, this person had a lot going on for them. It's not like they were nobodies. They had a lot of people that cared for them. Sometimes I think about, like, those guys. What about them? Like, they worked on themselves. They achieved a lot.
A lot of them became wealthy when they were young. Mm-hmm. That's another thing too. Like, a lot of these guys that go crazy or whatever, or do something to themselves, they became wealthy young. Which I think, honestly, I think it's so important for guys, like, especially in their youth. Like, you really have to suffer because you can't appreciate the sunny days if you've never been through the rainy days.
Yeah.
You can't appreciate the light if you haven't been in a dark place, which is why suffering is so important. You need that polarity to experience, because if you've never been through any type of adversity, you're not going to appreciate when things are good.
True.
You know what I mean? So, like, now, right, I have this like a very strong semblance of, like, what suffering is versus what not suffering is. So I appreciate the days now a lot more than had it, let's say I had got it when I was young. And that's where it comes into where young guys, right? Let's say you make your money. I'm not saying if you're young and you become successful, you're fucked. I'm not saying that. But you need to really be a little bit more aware of the fact that you're going to have to push yourself a little bit more. You know what I mean? If you got it when you were young.
What makes you guys happy?
Doing the hard thing, doing the right thing.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I think the highest form of human achievement is inspiration. I don't think it really comes from money or it comes from attention or sex, stuff like that. I really find that the happiest I am, the best satisfaction I get in life is from inspiring others.
Man, me too.
Yeah.
I have it written down. Like, for me, one of my goals is just to inspire many people.
That's why I see
for
a
me,
lot
like,
of
reach my best potential and then help others reach theirs. Because I think that's the ultimate goal you can have.
That's creating more, and that's adding positivity to the world. I noticed that really young too, and I'm glad because
I've seen videos of you like where you're a kid, where you're trying to
when I was
inspire
really
people.
young,
Like, how old were you at that time? Like 13,
14,
and you're like, yeah, you should do something.
Do something with your life. And I'm 13,
So
like
cute.
because that's and when I would turn off the camera and when I upload the video, I was like, yeah, like I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
And that was better, and that's why I was happy kind of being a brokey for a long time and doing those types of videos, because I saw the comments, I saw the responses. People would come up to me and talk about like, "Oh, that video changed my life."
Yeah.
And that meant more than any type of money. I started realizing that at a certain level, like, I'm in my 20s, I need to get out of this stupid apartment in New York. I need to go create something more for myself. I need to start making money.
True.
I need to start prioritizing that and like get involved in this capitalistic world. I can't live in this idealistic world where you can just inspire and motivate forever. You need to go and create wealth for yourself. But ultimately, that's the best satisfaction. It's not like I bought a car or stuff like that. I get a watch, or I get to travel. But that's a byproduct, and that's all so that I can keep doing what I do. What I really like more than anything is to inspire.
Yeah, that's nice. And what about you? What makes you happy?
So before it used to be, I used to get great satisfaction from doing big cases when I was working for the government. I'd done like big, RICO cases, drug trafficking cases, human smuggling, human trafficking, guns, everything. Any type of crime you could think of, money laundering, federal especially, I had been involved in, right? So that used to give me a lot of satisfaction, like putting away really bad people in jail for long periods of time, because I went after the worst murderers, child pedophiles, all these types of people, right?
Yeah.
Terrorists, all that. But then now, right, with what I'm doing now, I really get a deep sense of satisfaction from people sending me messages like, yo, I was going to, do something to myself and I did it, right? You changed my life in here. And also, this is going to be a little bit more, I guess, on the dark side, but I get a deep satisfaction from beating my competition. And when I say beating my competition, all the detractors that talk smack, sometimes I'll watch their videos just to like get reminded, this is like, I want to make sure that I create a bigger impact than a lot of these idiots
because
that talk smack about us.
They're right.
Exactly. And my thing is, I look at it like I'm going to add more value than these idiots too. There's 3 that come to mind right now that I could think of off the top of my head.
Yeah,
but I'll watch them and they talk,
I said name them.
Sure. Apple and Leach, Hassan and H3, they talk the most shit about us, right?
H3, that was really motivational. When I got canceled and then him and his whole team started saying, congrats, Sneako got canceled. That was a fire that I really needed. Yeah. And every day when I don't want to stream or when it's difficult, I think about him going, and I work twice as hard just to prove your fat ass wrong.
And this is my thing. Like this might not be the best advice. You guys could take it if you want, but me personally, I look at it like I hate my enemies so much. I refuse to lose. And I look at it like they're in my way. They're my competition. They're talking smack. They're making hit pieces, blah, blah, blah. You took to go for problematic. All this a bunch of pussy language stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to add more value than these guys. While these guys do stupid ass commentary videos talking shit about other people, I'm going to help you guys make more money. I'm going to help you guys become more successful. And I look at it like, who's getting more positive messages about who's impacting more lives, right? Is it me teaching you guys how to invest in real estate and save money on taxes and how to not be a fat POS? Or is it Hassan for the 20th time talking about politics like a loser? Probably us. So I'm going to continue to make better content than all these idiots that talk smack about us. That's how I look at it. Like, these guys are doing this. We're doing this. And it's funny, too,
and they're not even good about talking about politics. They don't even talk about what's really going on in the world. You know what Lasanabi recently said? He was talking about Aiden Ross, who got inspired by Andrew Tate. Yeah. And he's now doing NoFap and he's on self-improvement, stuff like that. He said, don't go down like the Sneako alt-right pipeline and go NoFap is like some weird right wing. How is it conservative and right wing to not want to masturbate? It's incredible what woke people think. They're not even good at speaking about politics if you think that jerking off is liberal.
And these are 3 guys also that talk smack about us, Andrew, etc. So I look at it like
same people,
the same losers, bro. So I look at it like, who's adding more value to their audience. And as long as we're adding more value than those ass clowns, I'll look at it like it's a W, and I'm going to continue. Because I look at it like, I'm going to the gym so I never look like Abba. I'm going to the gym so I don't look smooth and flat like your boy, Hassan. Or not to look like a slob like Ethan Klein. And I'm going to continue to give guys content that makes them better, help you guys get in shape, make more money, etc. And I look at it like, whoever's giving the most value is the winner. So that's how I look at it. Like,
it's really a brilliant philosophy that changed my whole perspective on internet. Like I'm dead serious. I asked Bradley Martin recently had Ethan Klein H3 on his podcast, sitting just like this. And I told Bradley to ask him, like, Ethan, what do you stand for? Because it's really true about all the people that we have common haters, like the people that hate Andrew and Tristan, hate Fresh and Fit, hate me. All of them. Yeah. So I asked Bradley, and Bradley stands for something.
They don't know me yet.
They're going to come for you, bro. They're going to come for you. Just be prepared.
You make any content like that's pro-masculine and become a better man, they're going to come, man.
Hey, you're with us, though. You're with us.
This content is problematic. This is problematic.
Sneako's welcome, man.
Yeah.
No, you're going to get canceled, man. You're red pill, toxic, problematic, insecure, incel. But Bradley Martin, he stands for the gym, and he has a positive message. And so, like, there's a clear philosophy with his podcast and what he talks about. He talks about critical thinking. So I told him, ask him, you're going to sit down with H3, ask him, what do you stand for? He didn't answer the question. And I think that's that. People don't talk about that enough. He just said, this is like a gotcha question. Like, what do you mean, like Sneako? Like, he just got wiped from the internet? This is how is it a gotcha question to ask you what you stand for? I got you because you don't know what you stand for.
Because you don't stand for anything.
Because you stand for nothing. You're just there to talk. That should be set off alarm bells for your entire audience. Why are you watching somebody that doesn't even know what he stands for?
Damn, yeah.
And that's the grift of the left. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're more concerned with being politically correct and not offending people and maintaining. And let's be honest here, they want to maintain their liberal/female audience, and that's cool. You know, it is what it is because women tend to be more in the fields versus the reels. But hey, man, our biggest haters, they all have the same MO. They all look the same. They all don't hit the gym. They're not big on self-improvement, whatever. And they watch us and they're like, you guys are toxic alpha males. So, whatever. But that's what motivates me. Beating my competition, smacking them, and helping guys and inspiring guys at the same time to actually become better versus watching mindless reaction videos.
Question I have for both of you guys.
Yeah.
So happiness is a byproduct of working on yourself. Do you think happiness is also a choice? Like, can we decide to? Is it something like it's just a byproduct? If you want to be happy, just work on yourself, or can you also do other things to make yourself happy? What do you think? Like, because there's some people saying you can't chase happiness. It's just a byproduct of working hard and improving yourself and just.
I mean, jerking off makes you happy, like now, but then when you're done, you look at the reflection of the black screen and you see your dumb face.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say focus on things that give you a back end pleasure, right? So whether it's the gym, that's one thing, right? But of course, there's you can have other hobbies. Whether it's maybe you play chess. Maybe you like building things.
Chess is good because it stimulates your brain.
It stimulates your brain, right?
That's fun.
Maybe you like to build certain things. Maybe you want to build planes, or build a ship and put it in a little bottle, whatever it is. Like or maybe you're into trivia, or maybe you're a historian,
anything
or maybe you
constructive or productive.
Maybe you enjoy art. Maybe you like to make music on the side, whatever it is. Like anything.
When I was a kid, I liked origami a lot. I used to do like some origami. Yeah,
like
it's nice.
So that's a hobby. I think the biggest thing though is to not be one of these hobbyless idiots, right? Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, in the West, I can't tell you how many times I've been on a date with a girl. Hey, what's your hobbies? I go to the beach, hang out with friends. You don't want to be like that. Yeah. You want to be a genuinely interesting person that has hobbies where you can go ahead. And the other thing too, why I think it's so important to be a well-diversified person and have different hobbies and interests and watch educational content, is that you can go ahead and chop it up and talk to people from different demographics that they'd be like surprised, like, oh wow, you know about this too? Yeah, I could talk about it, blah blah blah. And as the man, I'm gonna give you guys this uncomfortable truth. The burden of performance is on you. If you go on a date with a girl and you're boring, or you don't have interests or hobbies or whatever, you don't have any charisma, she's gonna look at it like, oh, I'm not the boring one. It was him. Even though you ask her what she does for a hobby, she says the beach. But the thing is that girls
they don't need to have anything interesting about them.
Yeah, like girls have the privilege.
Their face is the interesting part.
Yeah, like girls don't have to have anything interesting.
So Fresh does these blind dates where I will be blind and then there'll be a girl and she's an Instagram, like she's just a girl, and then we need to go on a date. And then you see like this one, it's just genius because then it's really revealed that they don't have anything besides their looks. They're so used to sitting down next to somebody and then having the conversation like, what do you do? I don't know. What do you do? And then you were like, you start creating banter, you start making the conversation, you make it. And now that I can't see you, I'm like, okay, so what is it about you? Like, tell me about yourself. I don't know. look at me, and you can't look at her, and then the whole thing, and then you reveal it, and she's actually really beautiful, but then you realize there's really nothing
The
in there.
conversation wasn't there.
And you've never had to become interesting because you're going to get validation for just what you look like.
And here's the other thing too. Before all you guys get mad and be like, "Oh, this fucked up," blah blah. Well, number one, get the book "Why Women Deserve Less," and you'll see why. But the reality is, I want you guys to ask yourself, like, let's flip the role real quick, because a lot of guys get mad at women and they're all pissed off or whatever. Imagine in a dream world, right, that you existed and hot girls came up to you and said, "I'll fly you to Dubai. I'll fly you to Miami. Hey, I'll take you on a date. Hey, I got a boat and tomorrow."
We're never going to be in the podcast. We don't need to be here.
Right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, imagine if you got all these offers, right, to hang out with beautiful women just because you existed. What kind of person would that make you?
True.
Would you go to the gym? Would you go work? Would you really bust your ass to become a better person?
No.
Would you become interesting and learn all these certain things? No, you wouldn't. You really wouldn't. You have zero incentive to do so because you got attention and validation and sex from the opposite gender just for existing. So you would be extremely flaky. You'd be picky. You'd only deal with the best girls. You'd be immediately bored if a girl didn't entertain you and jump through hoops. That's the modern day woman, guys. You can't
I would
be mad at
probably
it. This is
believe
the
in
world that we're in.
astrology. I'd be so bored. I would make up some stars to develop my personality
And
trait.
guys get mad, but I'm saying, like, literally put yourself in a female's shoes. If you were able to get attention and validation and sex and everything you wanted from the opposite gender merely for existing and never having to actually self-improve yourself, would you? And the real answer is you wouldn't. Most of y'all wouldn't.
Can I
And
ask
that's
you a
where a lot of
question?
modern women are.
Do you think everything in life is transactional?
To a degree, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even
to a
me.
degree, yes.
And this is the thing I was thinking about for a while. And for a while, I guess I kind of thought like it's a sad thing. But
No, it's not.
But actually, recently I found it's not actually a sad thing. It's just the way it is. And
Yeah.
if anything, it's fair.
Yeah.
Because, like, people say like men are only loved transactionally. But I think even dogs, you only really like a dog because it makes you feel,
Yeah.
it makes you feel good. It gives you attention.
Yeah.
It's
Same reason you donate to charity. It
same
makes you feel
because
better
it makes you
about
feel
yourself.
good. Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Even like what's like quite extreme if you think about a mother. Like I know of many people who have never got support from their parents or like, and they left their parents and people were like, "Rare, you should have left," because they never fed you, they never looked after you. So even that relationship was based on the parents providing for the kid.
Yeah.
And if they don't, then the kid is seemed normal to leave, and that's your mother, So
Everything is
it's-
transactional to a degree. I would say, like, the thing that pisses guys off is that they don't understand that their relationship with women is transactional probably to the highest degree. And what I mean by that is, as a man, you must provide value. Going back to the date thing, right? If you go on a date with a girl and let's say she's boring and you were charismatic and charming or whatever and that she didn't have fun, she's still going to blame it on you. She's not going to go and be like, "Well, I'm really kind of like a non-interesting, boring ass chick."
But I
maybe
have
it's
met
my
some
fault.
girls who are,
but very few girls have
yeah.
critical thinking skills and are going to think like that because we live in a world where we tell girls they're special no matter how they behave. So
But do you
most
think-
girls, if they have
do you
bad time,
think
they'll
that's their
blame
value?
you.
Their value is the obviously like cooking and like sex, or
And they're not even that good at it that time. It smells bad. And then they can't cook. They're making peanut butter jelly sandwiches and pasta. Like, are they even good at what they're supposed to do? The bare minimum is seen as like, I'm a wifey now. If she can cook once in a while and then it doesn't smell bad or she doesn't have diseases, then she's wifey material in the West. The bar is so low for women.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
All right.
The bar is low.
If you could say one thing. Wait, first of all, question. You got banned on YouTube. Do you think you'd ever get banned on YouTube?
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's
at some
inevitable.
point probably. Yeah,
They're
it's
on
probably
Rumble too.
gonna come
They
at
stream
some
on
point.
Rumble every day.
Yeah, we're on Rumble as well. Rumble.com/freshandfit. Rumble is going to be the future, bro, because this YouTube is becoming anything that's like pro-masculine content. It's like getting censored.
Get ready, man. Come to Rumble, man.
Yeah, maybe. Why not? But you don't think that like you're not scared at all to lose the channel? You don't care at all?
I mean, it's gonna come at some point. The way we tell guys the truth about how the world really works, right? You can't even say stuff like, why women deserve less. Like this book, right? It's a catchy title, whatever. But like I go into detail like why guys can't simp on girls in 2023 and beyond, because
But I think-
modern day women have changed.
Yeah, I don't think it means like to treat women badly.
No.
Even though like the title obviously has to be catchy, but I think definitely it's just about don't put them on a pedestal.
Actually, I have it put it right here in the first like page, and I actually literally have this because some guys go like, "Oh, we deserve this." Yeah, it goes. This book does not call refusing to refusing to help your fellow human if it's a woman, nor does it call for refusing to work, interact, or socialize with women in society. It is to prevent you from wasting your resources on the unreciprocated romantic pursuit of women to the point it ruins your life. Let's be honest.
extremely
Most
fair.
guys give too much, and girls don't reciprocate, and girls are used to not reciprocating. And then on top of that, there's an entire economy built upon the fact that women don't reciprocate.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, if you could say one thing to the your old version of you guys, what did you say? Who wants to go first?
Stop doing drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that messed up my reward system for a long time. It makes me think about how women get to live life, all not really having to work towards things in the long term. Like when I'm high, I don't really need to do anything else because I'm already happy. And so that was what I was chasing for a long time, and it was a big distraction. And then nothing really came of it. Like there's nothing I can really talk about. People talk about like psychedelics, like, oh, I saw a clown in the woods and a dinosaur pop.
I've
Like,
never tried Adderall, but you spoke about it one time as it helped you editing.
well, that was not even a drug. That was medication. It's medication. It is a drug, but I was prescribed it. But I did pretty much every single drug besides like heroin and crack. I've done everything, and that was a big waste. And that I was chasing that for a while because I wasn't thinking about the long term enough.
And your purpose and what you're here for. And
yeah, my purpose. And I think a lot of that wasn't my fault because I was prescribed Adderall when I was like 11, 12. So I was taking amphetamines, and that did mess up my dopamine system for a while. I was looking for short-term satisfaction, and that messed up. But so I had to actively look and really try my hardest to go and find a bigger purpose. So at 19, it would be to go ignore the distractions and prepare for my life at 25.
Yeah. What about you? What are you
At 19 years old, that was 2009 for me. Man, I wish I had. I'm old, guys. I'm 33. 2009, I was 19. Yeah, it would have been for me like start an online business.
Nice.
You know, I would have got back. I would have got like ahead of the curve, like with like
e-commerce brand or
e-commerance, all that stuff.
Dropshipping.
Invest in Bitcoin. Yeah.
Invest in that's the common one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would tell my don't lose my little Bitcoin piece of paper. I had bought Bitcoin like back when it was $50.
No way. Really?
And I lost a piece of paper with the code on it.
No way.
Retard. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Womp
That would have
womp.
been crazy. So do you guys like invest a lot of money in crypto now?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I have a 6-figure crypto portfolio, some Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Oh, nice.
But
Do you go for
me,
altcoins or is it just Bitcoin,
Ethereum.
Bitcoin, I keep it simple. Bitcoin, Ethereum.
That's the best one.
Man,
Bitcoin is the most
I was quite
decentralized.
heavy in Solana, man. I was really
I have some
believing in
Solana.
man.
I have Solana.
It's so sad that this stuff's tanked, but it's going up now slowly. But
Yeah, but the other ones are pretty much just like
Gambling.
shitcoin, gambling. You know.
But Solana had a good team. They
Yeah,
were
but
good
Bitcoin has
things
been
being built on
stood
it.
the test of time. It's the most decentralized, and now you see the CBDCs that happened in Nigeria. Nigeria just dissolved their currency. The government now controls crypto, and they dissolve their old dollar bills.
Wow.
So the best way to prepare for that, I think Bitcoin is going to pump once CBDCs start getting implemented by
And it
different
is.
governments.
There's
And it
already
is.
Iran and Russia have a stable coin.
Yeah, I think we're due for a big Bitcoin pump. So start investing now, in my opinion.
Do you think that will happen during this?
I can't predict it, but I see it coming. I think Nigeria implementing CBDCs is a big one, and a lot of people are getting red pill now, and it just makes the most sense. It's the
Do you
most
think we're going
decentralized.
into a big recession, depression?
We're
You have a
going-
lot of
we-
real
We kind
estate.
of are in one.
We have a depression.
Yeah,
right
so we're in
now.
recession. I don't think we're in depression.
Yeah,
though.
recession. Sorry, not a depression.
GDP is
In the United States, we
negative.
definitely are going through a recession right
100%,
now.
yeah.
And the reason why, because people know me as a real estate investor, right? I have 12 properties, but I tell people all the time, I have a 6-figure crypto portfolio because I'm real big on being diversified. I tell guys, get in every asset class. Have your real estate, have cryptocurrency, have precious metals, have index funds, stock
Do you think
market,
real estate's going
everything.
to crash now because of the rising interest rates?
Real estate market?
I think some people might get when they raise the interest
Oh
rates.
yeah.
Defaulted. They default.
So no, it's not going to crash, and the reason why it's not going to
They have
crash is
floating
because,
interest rates.
What was that?
You know, some of these properties, people got
Yeah,
them
the
during
interest
COVID
rates
with
are going
floating,
up.
floating interest rates.
Yeah.
So it can change midway throughout the.
Well, most Americans, right? So I don't know how it is here in the UAE, but most Americans get something called a 36-year loan, which gives you a fixed rate interest. Now, you can get something called an adjustable rate mortgage, which is, what
Floating.
you're talking about, where it switches based on the market, and you're able to get it at a low rate, and then it switches.
In some states, I don't know if it's the offices but I think it's only for floating. I don't think you can get
A fixed
30,
rate?
Yeah.
In the United
You
States,
do
you
for
can get a
homes.
30-year fixed rate, right?
Only for homes and stuff.
For homes, right? Whether it's an investment property or not. But the reason why this real estate market isn't going to crash in the United States is because there's not enough inventory. We're about almost 4 to 5 million homes
you don't think it's
short
gonna crash?
in the United States. No, it's not going to crash.
Really?
No way. Not in the single family world, no. Or not in the home market because we don't have enough houses. There's an undersupply of homes. So since there's an undersupply of homes, people can't even buy homes. So the market's only going to crash if there's too much inventory.
Yeah, I think
supply and demand.
So, yeah, but I think some people, they took out loans obviously when it was zero interest, and now their interest rates have increased. So I think they
got to fix them.
smaller.
They got
Not everyone though.
Well, so okay, so I know what you're talking about. So back in like 2020, 2021, etc., people were getting interest rates at like 2, 3, 4%.
Zero, some of them.
The lowest I've ever seen is like 2 to 3. But the thing is that when they get these interest rates, it was typically a fixed 30 year.
Wow. Okay.
So you lock that interest rate. So if anything, people are going to keep that interest rate and they're not going to refinance.
But if they're getting laid off, they can't pay their mortgage.
That's definitely happening.
Google laid off 12,000 people.
Yeah, no,
Like
of course.
2 weeks ago.
But that's not going to necessarily lead to a real estate crash, just because you know what I mean. If anything, if those homes go out, what people will do is like the banks will come in and buy them. You know, but there's definitely a home shortage in the United States for single family homes.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be either way, but it's good to hear your take and your opinion. On that.
Because the single family home, which is 3 bedroom, 2 bath. We got 4 to 5 million of them short.
Supply is low, yeah.
Yeah, supply is very low. So typically, here's the thing, because I know you might be saying, well, there was a crash in 2008. Well, there's a bunch of different factors that led to the crash in 2008. Number one, they were giving loans for anything. Yeah. Like you could just have a pulse and they'll give you a home loan, right? So that was one thing. So a bunch of people that weren't qualified to get loans got them. And then on top of that, there was an way oversupply of homes. We were talking like 8 months of inventory.
True, yeah.
Which would mean that like it would take them 8 months to sell off all the inventory, which is ridiculously high, way too many homes. And then between giving out loans, too much inventory, and then you had the recession, all these things work together in tandem to create the housing market crash. But nowadays, ever since that 2008 bailout with the housing market, they had to come up with, it's harder to get a loan now, way harder than before. And they're not just giving you a loan for existing. So of course, people are losing jobs and they might lose the homes or whatever, but that's going to get bought out by like a Blackstone or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So, but commercial is suffering a bit. Like office spaces because of COVID. What happened is like, oh, well, we don't need office space. People can work from home. Zoom, exactly. So it did hurt the office space in commercial a bit. But as far as like residential, single family homes especially, that's. Well, I did a whole podcast with Chris Crone about this, and he owns like 6,000 plus units, and we talked about the real estate market crash.
Are you buying crypto right now?
Channel. What's that?
Or what investment things are you doing right now, like in this moment? That
real estate heavy.
You're going heavy in real estate right now?
I have 4 properties in Miami and then another 8 in Connecticut, and I'm always like looking, like most of my money I invest into real estate. And then I invest in my index fund as well that tracks the S&P 500.
Oh, the whole S&P 500.
It tracks the S&P 500. And then I have another one that tracks the international market, the entire stock market. And then whatever's left over, I'll invest some in crypto.
And you're actively investing this right now. Right now. You're actively investing.
Yeah. Most of my money goes into real estate.
Because I know some people are holding cash right now, trying to see what's happening.
Cash. Like I've always said, like if you have too much cash, like you're just taking an L, because what happens is the inflation is burning through the cash.
Of course, yeah, but also if you feel like everything's about to crash, then maybe the inflation is not the biggest concern.
But see, then the issue you run into is where you're trying to time the market, right? You're trying to time the market, and then you miss out on opportunities. Because if you're just going to try to hold on to cash,
time in the market is better than timing the market, as they say. So
what was that?
Like time in the market
is better than timing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because like, let me just try to time it, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'll tell you this. The housing market ain't going to crash. And then if you're buying in good real estate markets like Florida, Texas, etc., it's only going to continue to get more expensive.
What about gold? Do you invest in gold?
I have silver, but I'm going to start buying gold. I don't have gold.
Especially in recession times, it really goes up.
It's really good.
I think it's all 52-week high.
Yeah, gold. I believe it. Gold, and people make fun of gold. I think it's good to be in everything, right? I genuinely do think.
Who says that?
There's a lot of people that make fun of people that.
Like it's boring. They think it's boring.
It's like because
it doesn't go up much.
It's like an older dude thing is to like have gold and precious.
Yeah, because it doesn't go up much. They're like it doesn't go up much. It's not that like you get small returns.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think it's a good hedge against inflation. It's a good, like with the way things are right now, with everything being crazy. I genuinely think it's good to be in every asset class. But the reason why I like real estate so much is because you get cash flow, you get tax benefits, your house appreciates over time, and you get you get the cost segregation, depreciation. There's just so many benefits in the United States, at least, with having real estate.
I'm about to get my first one. When I bought my new car, Myron called me an N-word, so I'm gonna get a house and start having better assets.
You don't have any real estate?
No.
Damn, yeah, even I need to get into it as well. Maybe it's a good time for us.
Yeah, dude. It's the.
You're only in crypto?
Yeah.
Only 100% crypto.
No, there's different. I did a couple, but no real estate yet.
Do you have what about stocks?
Mostly crypto. I like crypto better than stocks.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know how it performs in the UAE tax. Real estate. But I'm gonna start looking into it because this is somewhere that I'm like looking to come into as well.
Yeah, that could be smart. Yeah. I think definitely it's a good opportunity, especially with whatever's happening in Russia. All the Russian oligarchs, they're coming to Dubai. They're buying properties here. So we're actually seeing some good growth in our market here.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
But I wanted to know from both of you. You can say first. What was the happiest and saddest moment in your life?
Happiest moment was, I'm not sure. I don't think I've hit it yet.
Really? No, okay, but from what's happened.
So far?
Yeah, so far.
A big one was,
maybe you bought your mom a car or something.
No, I need to do that.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good
Still
one.
got to do that. I bought myself a car. Pretty selfish. Maybe hitting 1 million subs was a big one. It took so long for it to happen. It took like 9 years.
Jesus, 9 years.
Maybe saddest moment was
getting deplatformed.
That was pretty sad. But I'm not sure. There's been a lot of moments. There's been a lot of, but I look towards the future. I don't really think about that.
Give us the saddest moment, Sneak. Reveal it.
Damn, man. Turning this into therapy right now.
Okay, no.
I'm about to go lift.
Myron.
The happiest, man, there's a couple of them. When we hit 1 million subscribers, because we had so many haters talking smack about us, so we're talking like 30 YouTube channels trying to destroy us, and we overcame. So
you
fuck all of them, right? And then when I found out that I was a millionaire, I didn't realize until like months after the fact. I didn't know that I had it. Like my real estate agent called me and said, "Hey man, just so you know, your net worth is over $1 million." I was like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah," and this was like 2 years ago.
How did you not know months after? As soon as it happened, I was looking like days before, tracking, making
because real estate like goes up in appreciation and down.
That's true.
So I didn't know, but he like was going through.
Oh, that's account. I mean, like you need to have $1 million in your bank account, like cash. To be
no, but real estate is basically
dude, it's
the
your
same
net
thing.
worth.
Okay.
It's your net worth.
No, but basically real estate, because you can sell it at the same time. When you call it, you could have sold it right now, cashed out $1 million. You know.
Yeah.
I guess if you have like, let's say something, but I think I know what you mean though. I know what you mean. But they consider it net worth.
But the general sense is when you.
It's actually funny because I have that question here. The feeling of making your first $1 million. So yeah, how's that feeling for you? Is you tracked it?
I mean, it was bound to happen, and also Tristan promised me a party when I hit $1 million cash. That says when he said you could consider yourself a millionaire, and then I'm like, yeah, bro. So we were actually like planning out the party, and then he had to go to jail. So yeah, free him so I could have my party. That was, but I saw it coming. I mean, it didn't really.
I actually haven't made $1 million in cash yet, so I'm looking forward to that. Like with my own money, I'm trying to, get him. Become,
it's not even that much anymore when you think about it.
Yeah, now you need 5. Now you need 5.
It's not even that much. Like you have $1 million, and then you have like a fee, and then there's tax season coming up, and then there's something.
No, I don't have tax.
Oh, just lucky. This is crazy, man. I don't have tax. That's the biggest flex of all time.
That's why, like, I don't have like $1 million. If I had $1 million cash, I'd be losing my mind. I'd be like, what am I doing? But like, I own a couple of houses outright. I own a couple of houses. Straight up where I bought them in cash, which I don't suggest anyone ever buy a house cash. But there were certain opportunities that I only had if I bought it cash. Yeah. So that's why as well. So I own a couple of houses outright, but that's when one of my happiest moments when I found out I had $1 million, because it was like just a personal goal. Because I don't care about money, as you guys could tell. I'm a hardcore minimalist. Like I wear the same clothes every day.
Terrible trait.
Yeah, whatever if you want to say. But that was cool because it was a good milestone, hitting 1 million subscribers. And then also like telling my dad, like, dude, stop working overtime. That was a huge one for me. This is a small personal achievement, but I told him, quit your job. But he was like, hey, I got like 3 more years to retirement, and then I'll get a pension. So I was like, all right, cool. So I pay their mortgage for them, and I take care of them.
Good
so
feeling.
For me, that
Very
was
good.
huge, because seeing how my dad struggled throughout his entire life, like working overtime, killing himself, working 6-7 days a week, right?
I can't wait to go to my dad and just like
Yeah.
my dad and be like, listen, like I want to start now, like paying for everything. You know what I mean?
And then one of the saddest was, I would say, when I had to leave the government, because I really didn't enjoy my job when I was working for Homeland.
Why'd you have to leave?
So the YouTube channel started to take off.
Okay.
And they basically brought me in. And they're
No
like,
way.
hey man, you gotta pick one
Cut
here.
that
Like
shit.
you're gonna be an influencer, or what the hell are you gonna do here? And I went back and forth with them for like a month. I tried to like figure it out.
Double agent.
Yeah. Well, I tried to like tell them like, hey, maybe we could work this out, blah blah blah. And they're like, nah, like you gotta like just shut down the YouTube for like a while. And I was like, damn. And the thing is that at that point, Fresh was like quitting his, like had already like quit his job pretty much. We had hired a guy from Chicago. Our YouTube guy was like moving. So like I had people depending on me. So I was like, I can't just walk away. So I left the government, and it was really scary because I was like, damn, like I didn't expect to leave at the time that I did, but it ended up working out.
It's a commitment, yeah.
Yeah, it ended up working out, but that was sad, even though like I would have never made as much money as I did.
But you enjoyed it
with the government, but I enjoyed the job. So
Yeah.
that was one of my saddest things, was walking away from that profession. But now with the true crime channel, it lets me kind of still
Relive it.
be in that moment. Yeah, because I'm able to like talk about criminal cases, and it brings back like really fond memories. Like I'll read through the court documents, explain to them, this is what when an agent's interrogating you, this is what they're trying to get, or when the police are doing this. I'm able to explain it to a deeper level, and people enjoy that.
You guys want to reveal your net worths?
Mine at this point probably somewhere around 2 to 3. Somewhere in that range.
Nice.
with my real estate and stuff. Yeah, because I own a couple houses outright, and I don't mind revealing this stuff because I tell people this more to like motivate them. So like, for example, I've talked about this.
It's your journey.
It's my journey. And then also I tell people like, so that they can understand, right? Because if you tell people, oh, this and that, depreciation, cost segregation, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. So what I'll say is this. When I worked for the government, I made about $100,000 to $130,000 per year, right? I paid about $40,000 in taxes.
Gee, yeah.
Right? In the U.S.
Tough.
But when I was my last year, I made about a little over $1 million, around $1 million on YouTube, right? And all the other entrepreneurial ventures, right? Last year, I paid $36,000 in taxes.
Wow, less.
And the reason why is because business write-offs, depreciation, cost segregation, real estate. I bought 7 real estate properties that year.
Wow.
Right? I invested almost all my money into real estate, and that was why I was able to cut my tax bill significantly. But I made 10x the money. So I tell people this not to be like, look at me, I'm going to flex. Rather, if you spend your money intelligently, have a business, right, a service-based business or some kind of entrepreneurial venture, have real estate, it is probably the best way to hedge against inflation and also to cut your taxes down.
Or move to Dubai.
Or you can move to Dubai. That's the other route too.
What's your net worth?
I'm not sure exactly. I would say like around $1 million, but the creativity kit is valuated pretty high right now from different investors and stuff like that. So it's hard to say because technically I'm the top shareholder.
Of course.
So I'm not sure exactly.
But I'm actually happy both of you guys revealed this. That's actually funny.
Yeah.
Most people are like,
dodge the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good.
No,
I mean, we all have a journey. You know
like
what I mean?
$100,000.
I do it to inspire people and let them know, like, you know, because I don't really show my wealth like that, but I'm happy to talk about real estate, how to invest, make money, etc. Because I think it'll inspire them. Like, yo, I pay less taxes than a lot of people that might be watching this, and the reason why I do it, of course, legally, of course, and everything like that. But it's because in the United States, the 2 cornerstones of the American economy are this: real estate, owning a business. Why? Because if you're able to employ people, you get tax cuts. And then if you're able to house people, you get tax cuts. That is the cornerstone of the United States. This is like what it is, right? So this is how all the big businesses, all the big companies, real estate investors, etc., they pay nothing in taxes. Donald Trump didn't show his taxes for a reason, because he pays almost nothing in taxes, and he does it legally.
Yeah.
Because the United States was built upon the back of small businesses. You employ people, you house people, you're going to be able to go ahead and save a lot on taxes. And that's what I want people to do.
Incentivize it.
Yeah. And even if, let's say you got a regular job, right? You got a regular job, a W-2 job. You can still invest in real estate and cut your income down and pay less in taxes by doing that.
That's from the guy, Robert Kiyosaki, talks a lot about that in Rich Dad Poor Dad. You read that book?
Of course.
Are you big into books?
Yeah.
Both you as well?
I listen to them on Audible mostly.
I listen, but I get bored. But yeah, I do listen to books, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have Rich Dad Poor Dad was great. I read Have It All by Chris Crone. I think that's a good book. Unscripted by MJ DeMarco really like helps you unplug from the matrix of like being a wage
These are
slave.
your top 3 favorite books?
Those are some good ones, right? When I read books, it's typically for financial, like books on like making money, being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, same.
But one of the biggest
homosexual books like Ernest Hemingway, deep artist stuff.
My favorite thing, I think one of the most important things, though, if I could leave something for your audience besides the taxes and everything else like that, because in the United States, taxes is a thing. It's huge, right? The biggest thing I learned, and shout out to Robert Kiyosaki for this, we had him on our show, we talked about this, taking earned income, right? Whether it's YouTube, a job, whatever it is, taking that earned income, putting it into an asset, that asset pays you back some kind of dividend or real estate or whatever, or rent or whatever it may be. That's what you use to buy the liabilities. And just off that little tip right there, right? That's what I've been doing.
A lot of taxes.
Yeah, I avoid a lot of taxes. And on top of that, I get this passive income that's coming in every single month. And that's what I've been building. Like I buy more and more real estate so this passive income can come in. And I'm trying to get to a point where I want it to be my goal. And it's good to have tangible goals as well. $100,000 a month net profit from real estate. So I know to do that, I have 12 properties now. I'm going to need probably 50 to 70 to do that, to get $100,000 a month net profit. That's the goal. Or I say 50 to 70 doors. Tenants, right? To get that, and then bam, I'll be happy with that, right? I hit my first goal, which is which was $20K a month. And I'm like, all right, cool, I did that. Now I want to get to 100, and to do that, I have to get this many doors, this many properties. So I'm working towards that and just building up earned income into an asset. Asset pays me passive income, and that's how I measure my success.
Yeah, I would start an LLC or start an online business, start an S corp immediately, and then pay yourself out. Don't pay dividends, but pay salary.
Give yourself a salary.
Yeah, that's the best way.
That's important too.
Nice. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Do you guys have any last words before we wrap this up? Anyone who's watching this, anything you want to say?
Resist the soy mind.
Resist the soy mind.
Resist the feminist mind.
Yeah, man, check us out, Fresh and Fit, right, on YouTube, on obviously Fresh and Fit on YouTube, rumble.com/Fresh and Fit. Get my book, Why Women Deserve Less. I go into detail why you shouldn't be a simp. And yeah, man, I go over like how feminism has changed the world and how, well, the first world, right, especially like the United States, etc., and why being a simp is actually going to hurt you as a man, and why you need to focus on yourself and not girls.
Woke is a virus. Look at the face of everybody from Antifa that got arrested, and just look how soulless they look. Look at all their weird dyed hair and all their piercings and their sad, crusty faces that are kind of melty. They look like they were microwaved for 30 seconds and then they were brought back into society. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to look like that. You don't want to think like that. Believe in something that's bigger than you. Do the right thing every single day and your life will improve. My life has turned around very quickly from changing my whole mindset. And you can hypnotize yourself with the positive influence, with positive thoughts, positive 100%. Words. I don't even allow myself to think anything negative anymore. As soon as I have any of that, like that old degenerate little stuff, I just push it out. Tell you what?
Stress.
Stress is good. Like I don't think of stress as a bad thing. That's urgency. That's that I need to do something. I feel stressed out. I'm like, what do I need to do? There's a reason why I'm stressed. Maybe I should go to the gym. Maybe I should work harder. Maybe I should go check up on emails. I have to do something in order to not feel stressed out anymore. I'm stressed out because something has not been done yet. And I've reprogrammed my mind, and I'm very optimistic for the future.
Nice. You get to be stressed today.
That's a good thing.
You have opportunities that stress you out.
Right.
Exactly.
Better to be busy than to be bored.
Exactly. My coach always used to famously tell me, and it stuck with me to this day, idle hands do the devil's work. Right? Or in this case, shaitan. So, yeah, man. You get out there, guys, get busy, make more money, go to the gym, take care of yourself, prioritize yourself first, and you'll be amazed at how that will make your life easier.
Amazing. Thank you so much, bro.
Thanks. Welcome to the Cancel Club.
Thank you, man.
Toxic incel, alpha male.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, check them out, obviously on all socials. Leave a comment if you enjoyed this video. Appreciate you guys for sticking to the end. Take care. Peace.